Okay, Fambulem, I bring to you warm greetings from the Then and Now Media Empire. Speaking to you today on a very special day, very special occasion, the 14th of May. It's on a Friday, 2021. Me now, a host and presenter, Prince Emil Komade, come to una live from this platform I just talked about earlier on. We don't want to waste our time very much because we are over 10 minutes above the time we promised for come to una live. But having said this, it's better said that the business is done than not being done at all. The reason why we decided to put this program together today is very, very important because we country today at a very crossroad. The significance of the strategic need for a political party them, and not only political party, but also civil society groups, whether or not the media such as we do so tonight and the other people and we also they carry out similar projects up and down the country. A very, very important, which is one, we go ensure that we country in democracy is moved forward, is moved in a positive direction for try to do away with other things than we demean with democracy, where we don't fight so hard for. Political parties are the center of this all. And one thing I want to let Fambule understand is political parties are not only there for political power, but for ensure that the wheel of governance is well oiled, it is turned and with the whole government into account and transparency for make sure say that in the end we people and benefit from such things. So today we get a consortium of progressive political party them. Not only them, we expect some CSOs as well because they are also part of this machinery. And leading this consortium here tonight is none other but the leadership itself. The woman with the leader, a woman, did you hear me? The emphasis is mine, a woman, okay, with the leader, which means that glass ceilings have been shattered, women have been more empowered as we move on into this 21st century and beyond. And this woman is none other than Madam Femi Claudius Cole. Also, on the platform tonight, we brother from the C4C, which happened to be brother Ia Fande within the program. And we also get the ADP party of the brother Kamarimba Mansari, who currently, as we speak, is unjustly being incarcerated in our country. This is all part of the discourse here tonight. We'd expect more people and for come on, but we can't hold the public to ransom by waiting for these people to come. I want to make una for understand that as we speak here tonight, there is a blackout in the city, and I not say I'm in the city of Freetown. I not say I'm in a demeaning way. I mean, just want to let Fambule understand the reason why some people are not joining we as at this time, now because of the current situation where they find themselves in the very country that we want to hold this debate about. For help me for carry this conversation forward is also a very eminent brother. We don't work now the broadcasting system. Once upon a time, he don't give his services to the country Sierra Leone. He worked for the Sierra Leone broadcasting services and is none other than Mr. Daniel Bumper Ture. Welcome to you all, Fambulem. And I want to use the normal greeting of the then and now for say a warm greetings to all. especially the first timers them, Brother Iafande, welcome for the first time to the Then and Now, and Sister Madam Femi Claudius Cole.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome. So like I've been saying, Fambulem, we're there at a critical time. There's always a critical mass in terms of the conversation where we always get, because there is one common factor, the general good for the country, okay? First question goes to Madam Femi Claudius Cole. As we speak today, the title you can see is a coalition, not coalition. In fact, now what do I want to ask you about? A consortium, okay, of political progressive party them. The question, first and foremost, is why a consortium and not a coalition? Is that deliberate? Shall we indeed waiting do, if you will, please?
Well, let's take you to the beginning, where you see how we come about. The reason we make them parties that come together, really one particular issue, now I've been waiting me can say now the catalyst. And that catalyst, they have been this decentralization policy. Now, we all been there our own political party. We all they pull press release, we they write open letters, we they do all kinds of things for call attention to things that way they go wrong in the country. One day we all listen radio now we individual homes. Now we are in a 98.1. But the decentralization policy and the portion say, then they pull political parties come up and local government. That particular issue, they now have been the catalyst to bring everybody together. When we read this now, if you pull political parties come up and local government elections, it affects every single political party other than the party where they're in governance, right? So now that issue there now we all come together, say we need an urgent meeting. This not to APC, Unity, ADP business, this now we all as political parties, now we all business. So that issue there, now have been the calling together. We all come together at that first meeting where we all meet for discuss the theory we all hear in a radio. The shock and the horror of the fact in a radio we for hear. Now then I really bother every single political party. Now that then we come together and say, look, this not to you write, me write, in write, then write. Now for that we all write one letter. For that we say we concern. Say una they pull decision like this, na radio we for here. A decision where they impact not only political parties, but the multi-party democracy. That issue then na the issue will lead to let we all meet for the first time. And after that first meeting day, of course, we been now done put a plan in place for how we they respond to what they don't do. We scarcely begin for better that one day. Now then come back with this, then grab back with the census, the midterm census. Now they say for not chairman done, will not even begin for swell right? Now then boss back with cyber crime bill. So the issues then begin come on top of me. We then realize after 3-4 meetings, say, look, this guy don't pass water. This not a 1 month meeting now. Now we get for the meet on a regular basis. How will they attack all the issues there are? The issues that are really critical to the democracy. So now that way the consortium come about. We not come together for say how we want for pull this government, how we want for no. That conversation they not ever be a reason for the consortium. We never come to that. But since we don't eventually at a particular meeting, now we decide to say, look, we got to get some kind of a name for identify ourselves. And together we come up with the consortium. But the conversation don't they come. People that don't they come, but I stop there for now.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for that broad view of why the consortium. And there will be more questions for come in that regard. Let us move on to Brother Iafande, because you're also part of the political machinery in terms of the opposition, but a huge stakeholder in terms of the party where you kind of belong to. You know, you're waiting the leader of the consortium say. Is that something that you support? There's a reason why I'm asking this, because I know say you're part of, but when I say support, how much of that support are you lending to this process?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Prince, for inviting me for the first time. So as we, the C4Cians, we do support the idea of this group, okay? What did happen? Unfortunately, what had happened, there's a miscommunication in reference to who should represent C4C in this group. I think so we'll work with the leadership right now for correct that, you know? Okay. So, but the diaspora C4C, the C4C proper, definitely supports this movement, and we support the intent of it, the letter to it. We are with them, but we just need for course correct in reference to who should actually represent C4C in this regard. So, as I said, we are working on it. Our leader was in Freetown not too long ago. He met with Dr. Bright, and I believe with Madam Femi. So we try to correct that, so we'll get the right representative. But we support this idea. You know, this idea of this election where we're done for decentralized, it's really leading to a one-party system if we not be careful. And this is what we're gonna stop. If we don't stop it now, it's gonna blossom to something else. And it's about time we put a stop to it. And just like she explained, we got one issue after the other that we need to address. You know, the idea of a censor in mid-censor, whatever they call it, that's just a scam. Why waste so much resources where the country they suffer, you know? And then of course the cyber bill is just another way of bringing in what we thought they got rid of, you know, 2 years ago. But you know, those are all check and balances, and I'm glad that the opposition parties they come together for say, look, this got to stop. This ruling party got to understand that they have to respect democracy and be inclusive. They cannot just because they have the majority. In fact, I don't even think they have the majority in the House. But just because they have the speakership of the House, so they can just bulldoze any bill in Parliament and get away with it. So this is what we're here. We're telling our people in the country that people are here fighting for their rights, and we have to stop this party for what they're planning to do and what their intent. The intention here is very clear for some of us that have lived, you know, in the 80s where we grew up under one party, under one political party. This is exactly where we're gonna lead to if we let them get away with it. So we are not gonna let them get away with it. We'll fight this.
ADPs, Mfaji Kaba, we are not going to let them get away with this. And you are part of this consortium. You want to provide some overview, some analysis, some perspective to Fambule where they listen, how you join this consortium and how you're going to lend your support into not letting them, in inverted commas, get away with waiting in the try for do.
Thank you very much, Prince. You know, first and foremost, I want to let we viewers they understand, say, traditionally, opposition parties get a traditional responsibility for serve as checks and balances so that we will get a good governance system and with democracy will prevail and we're able to sustain them, especially with democracy young. We don't get 11 years of war and all other things like where the previous speakers, they said. I mean, it's very important because like we leader, Madam Femi, when our leader for this consortium, don't rightfully put her. There was a time when we write letters, we get press conferences, individual, we make opposition, we bring suggestions, recommendations, but they're not pay attention to it. The government not seem to pay attention to it. You see, but let me tell you one significant thing where they happen right now where the people they need to know. You see, when you take this issue of this bipartisan or decentralization policy into consideration, you take about this midterm census, and you go further and say election not defy again 2 years from now. You get the NEC, National Electoral Commission, where they can do voters registration. As we talk right now, so Prince, the people of the country, they don't start with the registration. People are not even attempting, the majority of people are not even attempting to go. You know why? Because they don't get confused, you know, and like we say, now a whole lot of waste of resources. We now only see how they look, because if you can't get now, you can say, okay, you can't do registration, civil registration. People can get for good one. Immediately after that, you come back, you can start to say midterm census. It's part of registration and other thing. The election come back. So people are really confused and they're not doing their work properly for let they're able to distinguish among them three census and registration, you know, activities they are in the country. Thirdly, another issue again we don't come up is that people are confused with the census because the majority of the people we don't go out there and we don't talk to people. We don't get consultation at the provinces there. We don't listen to the people there. You know, people don't even get an idea. They don't get a clue as to what in this midterm census they about and the decentralization. So what is happening is people then concept where they get now or then perception where they get about this whole activities where they come up so now from the government, from this ministry, from that. You don't get, they're so confused that now people in the look and say, oh, this census business when they want to bring council. Now for them able to create more districts, you know, that is southeast of the country, get more constituency about 17 to 18. And therefore people they misconstrue with the registration right now. So they just look and say, no, no, they take part. They want to go register with them way done, then go shape, then go say, we don't get population at this area, at the western area or the north. You know, it's confusing. So as political parties, 13 political parties, we come together and look at and say, you know what, it's high time, sometimes if we speak from the same voice, from the same platform, we were able to get the attention of not only the government, but even the international community and development partners, the way they fund most of them projects here. Because to we come up to the conclusion, say, the space, the speed at which they are, and they come with all their program they are, the rush when they rush, Prince. It's just confusing why the rush for can't get decentralization, why want to get midterm census. Midterm census, yes, the president get right for make a call out. But look at them again, say, for let you call a midterm census, something dramatic for not happen. Either natural disaster where thousands and thousands of people die, or some other thing come up like war, where they don't kill so many people, then you want to come up with project. But whatever is happening, when they make reference to the 2015 census, say, or they get a lot of flaws, they get a lot of loopholes, then they a lot of problems. Okay, well, what we will do is, now for use that time, for look into all that thing and they put them together, plan them better, because for like do census, at least if we take 1 to 2 years, you know, because the next census actually by the calendar, when are every 10 years, if we come up 2025. So in order to fight again, why you know we patiently wait and put everything in place where you don't find out, say, there were an lapses them, mistakes they don't make, then you try for corrector. But at this juncture, you get few months to local council elections. You say you want to do decentralization, you want political parties. Then after that, you say I want to do midterm census for count all the people away there. With that midterm census, I'm telling you, look what's in the happen right now, even with this civil registration, Prince. For information, they're not able to get the targeted numbers of people participants because what you do, so outside the way you go for register, then they tell you, say, with computer they don't, the machine they will black out and all of that. So what thing will be the government in priority actually? Not this now misplaced of priority, you know. So we don't actually see the rush. Now that make we form this constituency. Let we start to address the issues here because there are a lot of other things there where they don't come up, where they on, where we don't know about them. Thank you. Just make you aware.
Indeed, Mr. Kaba, well said. There are a lot of other issues, and on tonight's program, we go see how we go able for compress then lots of other issues. So Fambulen go able for address, and what we take from here is the decentralization process. It doesn't look like a very good one, but I will yield the floor to my co-host, Mr. Bumper, to wait on the wait patiently.
Everybody kushe outside in a salon and everywhere people in the world, the world. You know, like the previous one speaker mentioned, opposition parties, they're able for one of the responsibility now for all the incumbent governments accountable for check things they already do. And so at some point, if political parties and CCDNE for come together, they identify specific issues for work towards and for work together, and it's brilliant. But me, genuine concern me gets about this, the effort of this consortium, now the inconsistency of some members of parliament we belong to this consortium. Them political parties, they claim for belong to this consortium, where at the end of the day, all of the three things here, so we identify like the decentralization policy, the midterm census, the cybercrime bill, all them things here na instruments and legal instruments where the government they table na parliament and seek voting. So like see most times they vote in favor, they vote in line with the president. They vote in line with the president of the day. And some of them bill, if you were able to defeat them at parliament, if you were able to get like three quarter of the votes in a parliament. So like the midterm census, after 21 days, it become a law. After you not be able to get sufficient votes for defeating a parliament, after 21 days, it become law. So C4C and the chiefs have always been voting for the government of the day. From where Milty Magai bring it, because as we watch a video when Milty Magai, they talk why he involved the chiefs. And they say, well, then chiefs here, they don't do it for a long time, where they don't win, you know, put them at the back seat. So there was no real, rational, a progressive reason for bringing the chiefs into parliament. So successive government don't they use chiefs for build up them votes against any kind of reckless law within the tribe for enact. And so the frustration of the consortium is impressive, is progressive, is fine. Well, some of those things here, this get for do with laws. Parliament get for take position. And so if the consortium members, they're not too, like C4C and other members, they're not too consistent with the advocacy where the members then within the consortium, they challenge, you know, so it's frustrating.
Hey, Prince.
Yes. Yes, yeah.
If you know my go on for chiming, very good observation by Mr.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free.
Yeah. So honestly, Uti lay also in observation is very, very correct. You know, what happened, unfortunately, with C4C, and I will be honest on the here, we have a split within the members of parliament, you know, and that boiled from, you know, that started from our previous leader, as you all know. With previous leader, he decided for split away for go back na APC. So immediately after he decided to do that, we the diaspora group requested his requisition from C4C, and we got it. Okay, so put out a press release. So what they did, the national executive, of course, almost 80% of them, they align with to former leader, and this is where the split came in the parliament, and this is why we're having issue with them voting in favor of maybe sometimes to the SLPP they put up. So we the diaspora group, we don't place an injunction on the national executive, and this is where it was very sensitive when Tambasandi was represented in this group. But we've put out a statement and we wrote a letter to the leadership that it should not, because it's get an injunction. So the observation is very correct, and we're working on that, you know, in reference to where our votes should go, especially when it comes to these three sensitive issues. Okay, so we work with the leader the leader what we align with, you know, for when I MSC Lamina for say, listen, you know, most of the time, MSC they vote with the SLPP, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that if it is a national issue that is good for the country, you know. But an issue like this, we vehemently oppose what the government is trying to do. So we don't walk behind the scene. I know they can't tell the whole world what to do behind the scene, but this is going to be corrected. And going forward, there's going to be some changes in reference to whose side we placed, we vote, we MPs them. So we are working on that behind the scene. But the observation is very correct. C4C has been in a way with the SLPP government, some of the MPs, they're not all of them, but we are working on correcting that. So I just want to give an assurance, especially when it comes to what we're discussing today, in reference to these three topics that are on the agenda here that we started off with, that those are the topics that we opposed, and we expect our leaders or our MPs in Parliament to vote against, if it at all it comes to the issue of the bill in Parliament and has to be voted on, that they will vote it down or they will vote against it, you know, as far as we're concerned, as far as the diaspora group is concerned. So we're very clear on that. And this has been communicated to the MPs and all of them. And we're having meetings every week in reference to, you know, our stance and the way forward.
Yeah, Danny, I think it's back over to you.
You know, that's just the frustration. So I just hope that things go forward well, because you know, like in 1962, the three parties that contest the election. Now APC, one party now corner, and it's SLPP. SLPP can get the majority, they formed the parliament in the 1962 election. APC became the minority for the first time. But the Corner Party, even though they get small parliamentary seats, they stand up against the incumbents within like the 1965 Public Order Act and one party bill where Albert Magai for introduced in 1965. The opposition, the Corner Party, they're not look say because they're not opposition is small. They're not choose for join the incumbents of the day, but then choose for take a position for save the democracy. They voted against the one party bill where Albert Magai introduced. Then they opposed this 1965 Public Order Act. Then do so many things as opposition people, even though they were small. So I don't know what they really going with this present C4C, because if C4C alone and the chiefs, 12 or 14 chiefs, if they always continue for votes for, then continue for support the SLPP, then continue to vote alongside the SLPP, all them three bills here in the past, then they become law, then they be enacted. Whatever people then will get for shout, the consortium will get for ally, because at the end of the day, they get for come to votes, they get for come to parliamentary votes. And once the chiefs have always been there, the chiefs have been exploited since every government, every president who they can exploit and chiefs them. Because the chiefs then they're afraid. Then everybody want for just vote for the president of the day so that he go in at the books of the government. So it's really, really worrying. You know, it's really, really worrying.
Right. So indeed, and let's just take this forward to the leader of this coalition, or the consortium as they would like for it to be called. We then know that for the political process for observed change in culture, it's a difficult one. And this is what they go through right now. A very, very difficult one. One of the things that we're very prevalent in our society now, in terms of with politics or the body politic, is that of identity politics. Kono, they align itself with Kono people. The South, they align itself instead of the general body politics we try for look forward to. And Madam Femi Cole, this question goes to you because these will be some of the challenges as we go forward. So while this marriage of convenience look very favorable in terms of the present political climate, going forward, how do you look at reforming or bringing this cultural change? When they come overnight though, but just because this convenience of marriage don't take place, waiting at the threat where eventually go happen when the change where you envisage take place. I wonder I see the shake your head, so which means that you get what you try for drive.
I get what you, yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah, please address that if you will.
And I really want to take them from the beginning. And we call them a consortium. There's a big difference when you use a consortium versus you using a coalition. You're treading on different waters when you're talking about a coalition. But I want to really address some of what Daniel said. And I'm sitting here as somebody who wants to see Sierra Leoneans come together. And I must say, I'm extremely sad as I hear Daniel, they talk specifically, Consortium. It means we're nowhere. Because this is the biggest bridge that we're going to have to cross. And it is one that, now one way me, the Abob say, what in this consortium don't do, when me appreciate, it make they interact with all the leaders. And one thing where they really come for appreciate is there is more that binds us together than actually divides us. And some of them divisions, they are divisions that we deliberately insert into the conversation. Now, the consortium not able to address the divisions within political parties. Every political party has its issues and its problems. If the consortium is formed for let we come, then we become a mediator, and we cannot assume that position. Every political party, when a part of the Republic of Sierra Leone, therefore do in EON internal audit and EON internal straightening, where the consortium can be of assistance, we can able for step in, but we're not going to step into other people's political party. That's a whole different show for a whole different day. As a consortium, we are focused on the issues. We are focused on 3 issues. Then 3 issues, then they, now the decentralization policy, where they affect we all equally, whether we're local party executive, whether we are diasporan party executive, whether you are small party, big party, whoever party you did. All political party then growing, the growth, the nursery, whose party they grow, now local council elections. And if we sit down, we embroil ourselves in inter-party disputes, we eye off the prize, then we're going to be in hot waters. We do that at the beginning of this SLPP administration. When we see the machinery where they put in place for gain the speakership. As political parties, some talk, some write, me write open letter, other people then pull press release, but we not come together. If we been come together and really put we foot down and really consolidate with voices, for say we too they do so not for bonfire picking. We didn't. We failed to do that. And consequently, we don't say we did so now. Daniel, they talk, say the political parties in parliament are split. Me, for the first time, I go sit down at parliament, that day they were, all that ruckus take place in parliament. I was seated there in the gallery. And I observe with speaker, I observe the clerk of parliament. Nothing anybody being able to bring sanity to that parliament at that moment. We have a speaker that was imposed on the parliament, he's worse than a bulldozer. We have a clerk of parliament where imposition supposed to be like that of a permanent secretary, apolitical, who was acting like a hoodlum. Both of them were acting as hoodlums in that parliament. So whether the eyes have it or the nails have it, the speaker already has a hearing problem. He can only hear the eyes when he wants to hear the eyes. So there are big problems. And if we're going to just embroil in those, we're not going to be moving forward. What we have to focus on are these issues. Tomorrow then go ask me, say, well, what do you do? Una no say this wrong, what do you do? So the consortium get for focus. We get for focus and we get for keep we eye on the issues. And the issues now, the midterm census, already 20 almost days. It has already become law. But as Umfaji, they say, what we are seeing now is NCRA trying to do verification. Today, I'm not able to go verify. I don't go 2 days running. I'm not able to go verify because it's chaos. So you cannot convince Sierra Leoneans that we have the machinery in place for doing midterm census. So the attitude now, as far as I can see, when it comes to the midterm census, now let they go no more. Let they go no more. But meanwhile, we engage the international partners. As Umfaji says, they are funding this. And you can see the international partners, then they see the all who say we all they go for them. Then they see. But still yet, and they pay for them. Follow we all go for them inside that all day. So we're in a critical situation. And I feel to say the hour and a half will be best spent if we're able for really leave the internal, I'm not going for go there. I'm not going to go there. The internal party dynamics and policies have to be dealt with on a party by party basis. APC get their own. SLPP will sit on at the chair, then get their own. Whether they kill themselves right now. ADP get their own. All man get their own. So right now, if we mistake, say, okay, now we can't sit down now, we focus on the party issue, there will be very little progress. And the people of Sierra Leone right now are sitting on the precipice. They're looking at the precipice, and they look so well. This ultimate well. One woman tell me in a market. It's a mami call Makitu man, where I'm nothing to say if you know about consortium. I don't be feel say Isabi. It's a mami call our pack for Grammy Casada list. It's a mami call now with the abo pan. Now with the abo pan. It's a maybe not talk and say me I never vote again. I know they vote again. I will stand. It's a now with the abo pan. If you see una own business not enough, well, me I know they vote again at this country. So there are people who are depending on us for us to get our SHIT together. I'll stop there for now.
Okay. I mean, well said, Madam Claudius Cole. A very, very important and decentralization process, because sometimes in a situation of this kind, you can observe the normative process. The normative process is the beginning of the process of crooking, can't mince my word, a process in which the people are supposed to be relatively involved with, which is elections. So when you get intentions of this kind, these are the processes that are being put into place for deny the people of their democratic rights. And yes, such like the decentralization process. Yes. Let us go back to Brother Ia quickly. We know say 1 or 2 CSO, they try for join. And one Fambule understand that there is a distinction, although there's a connecting point between the CSOs and the political parties then, because they all can work towards the same goal. In other words, the CSOs then get a responsibility for whole government into account. And I think that Brother Iafande talk about that. But we'll wait for let them join, so we'll pose our own question where we get to them. Brother Ia, this decentralization process is a thorny issue, okay? Because we just talk about the normative process. You already question where, or the view where Brother Bompa Toure Guy, where Madam Femi Claudius Cole just addressed. Going back to this issue of decentralization, and I use the opportunity again for apologize to you and the entire NGC party, because I missing for C. I get 1 or 2 things wrong. The names that were then sent to the platform happy enough for be the official representative of the platform. And as soon as I put their names and they out, I get a barrage of calls saying no. But that's been resolved partially. And I hope say you go accept in behalf of we to UNA. We apologize for that miscommunication. But back to the issue of decentralization. What do you think say need for happen now, brother? How can you as a political party join the others for resist, waiting government seem so determined for push forward without a process of consultation, rather based on information?
Well, just what would you do so that the correct thing, having this group together, the opposition parties them together for doing a block of votes. Just like Mr. Daniel stated earlier, if we stay together as a group, okay, especially C4C, we play a key role for defeat this bill. So we need to be in concert. All of us need to be working together here. Yes. And we could work with a consortium from the diaspora point of view, and we will make sure we deliver with MPs them, for make we defeat this bill, because this cannot go forward. I mean, this is a phase, it's really a setting up a system. So we go finally end up into a one party system, which we are against, vehemently against it. So let's just continue to work like we're communicating right now with this group of oppositions. We get one voice. I believe, say, even though the ruling party, if they not say this group, when I mean the consortium and the opposition party, if we stick together, we will defeat what they plan for do. So in reference to having one voice is a key. And I'm glad that we are all in this together as a group for say, this, we have to stop this. This is not good for our country. And, it's not good for democracy. And it's not good for a global representation. And also some of us in the diaspora will make sure we expose what they're trying to do. We will expose them. We work on some, we work behind the scene right now. We're not gonna make them publicate. We also will likely have a global protest against what is happening in Sierra Leone in reference to this decentralization. So we did that during the APC government. When President Koroma sacked VP Samsumana, we led a global protest. We formed what called Consortium. I was one of the founding members. And we established it globally, and we get protests all over the world, especially in this area. We gave the APC and Eskroma a lot of tough time during those days. So we can do this again. This could be repeated. So those are things we're gonna do, and we're gonna make sure we work with brothers and sisters on the ground. And I'm glad that we're speaking as one voice, and when we will work on the ground, but also on the diaspora point of view, we will try we expose what they're doing, globally, for me, the international and the global partners understand, say, these people that want to try to destroy with democracy would have worked for the last, 15 or so years since the war. So we are not going to let this happen. So we go work for what we go do, in support of we brothers and sisters on the ground, the opposition party, for make sure we come together and stop this bill, So we're working on things that, it's just a matter of time. Maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll put out a press release as far as when we will actually start for actually demonstrate globally for make we stop what they're doing. So, but we're doing the right thing. We're talking as one team, as one voice, instead of just a splinter group of just like everybody on state. Each political party put out a press release and a statement in order to go find out. But all of us together put out a press release and a statement and having a press conference for say, this has got to be stopped. I believe even the central party or the ruling party will listen.
You're muted.
Prince, are you there?
You're muted, Prince. We're not there, you're nothing.
No.
He's muted.
He's muted, yeah.
You're muted.
Prince, you're not there, you're nothing.
You're muted.
Okay, Sister Femi Claudia School, many thanks. Ufaji, many thanks. Sorry about this. I mean, just to say, Dr. Bright don't join we, I believe, and I want to say a warm welcome to Dr. Bright and Fambulem, as we've been telling her. The people that we matter at this particular time, where they represent the masses of we people, are having this conversation here tonight. Not every one of them, but these are part and parcel of this conversation. And we'll just hear Ibora here, Fandi, just not just make some critical analysis of the way forward. But there's much more for talk about. But back on the issue of decentralization, which is very critical to the discussion here tonight. And pardon me, how we continue to go forward. I want to take this to the ADP deputy leader, Brother Umfaji Kaba. Umfaji, here's the thing. Conscientization of we people, education of we people, massive provision of information for we people so that when they make choices, the choices are based on something which is informed, is quite necessary. So therefore, we continue for home the points, home. Here is the thing. Tell the masses of we people once more about this decentralization. Why is it that the opposition, people like you, really oppose? I know say when I don't make the case, me not possibly like emphasis, because I believe in so making land, past person tell me over and over and over, and then it sink in. And this message need for sinking because the propaganda campaign is on, and our people are confused in the middle, not knowing who to listen to, who actually is saying the truth, the gospel. So this decentralization process, why are you people vehemently opposed to them? Why, if government say political party they not for support the process, you they against them? Why?
Okay, thank you again, Prince. Before I answer, I want to say special thanks and for let we listeners and viewers they understand the reason why we choose Madam Femi Claudio School for being the leader of this consortium. Not to any mistake, because we know say one, we talk about gender equality. Secondly, it don't be the only female candidate we don't run as a flag bearer among 17 political parties. So he gets a wealth of experience on all of these issues. Therefore, when we meet, just like we they talk about the situation, C4C your situation and waiting and come. We need somebody where they lead this consortium, where they actually look at things in a rationalistic way and address the issues when are the concerns of this country. Not to it don't go off. I know they see you again. I know they see that thing again. But I don't know if you're not there in it.
Okay.
All right.
So
what in Madam Femi they try to establish here is that we as a consortium, we don't want to go to that extent for that we get involved into internal political parties, their affairs. No, that's a distraction. Because we get wider things. You get 7 million people with population as alone, if not more than 7 million. So if ADP, Prince, you know what in the happy with ADP already with PPRC. You don't bring that program, they come up, you don't invite PPRC, they don't turn up. Madam Femi, I mean, as a leader and chairperson of the political party, he well conversant with all them here. So we just want to let here understand, say, not to say now a deliberate act for let we try for continue with the division where C4C they go to. No, we go appreciate them if C4C go wash them dirty linens at home, like how ADP get out. Then eventually the consortium is there to work with any representation we get na the consortium, because the national issues and national concerns that now we focus. So I'll thank Madam Femi for we make that clarification, because if not that, I mean, for say, Madam Femi, you don't want to take my own case again with ADP, say that. But I mean, now we keep up to that. Now, when we come to this issue of the decentralization, you see, Prince, what we people again for understand here is that the participation of political parties is there inside the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Section 35(1), that political parties that then they sponsor candidates for local government, for parliamentary and presidential. So if you can say now, well, I they pull political parties there, and not forget to say, when you put, besides the party where they in governance right now, when you take the other 16 political parties, then definitely now we form the majority. About 70 to 80% of the voters, the electorate there, now these political parties, now they represent them. Now then candidates and now then put candidates and now then sponsor them. So if you can grab now, say, you pull the balance 16 political parties then from participating from the grassroots, where the people learn at the grassroots, Now then they choose who that will represent them from the ward to constituency and nationwide for presidency. You say the pool political parties there, they're not for involved in the local elections. Well, let me ask you the question now. If you want for continue with this local election, local government elections, how you get for them? If 50 people then can say, well, me get interest. Then 50 people there, how you go put them at the ballot box? That's the one. Number two, you're not going to able for put them all on the ballot box. So what you go get for end up with? You go get for select. Who that go get that responsibility today for select if you don't pull the political parties there, when them for vet, when then at the proper position for let them vet, then candidates them, then members them, and choose the right person way for go contest on the behalf of the party. And if you win,
yeah,
you get a responsibility.
Mr. Kaba, for once, permit me for interject quickly, respectfully, sir.
Yes.
So the government make this proposition, and this proposition is supposed to cut across all political parties as supposed. Why is it suspect? Why is it where supposedly supposed to benefit everybody, every political party?
Well, because logically, when you look at it, Prince, now the governing party, the party where they in governance right now they try for say, we don't want any other political party there. Okay, in theory, and they say, well, we in no party, in their own party and every other thing. But the process will continue. You get the process where the government, where they in power, where one for discontinue political representation or contestants them from political parties in the process in the local government. So when the time will come, now then definitely will get for set the mechanism. Now then go put a system in place where then go make sure say these elections go. But this local, yes, this policy where they don't come with. There is nothing in their policy where we look through where they state how they want to conduct this election without political parties. Then, like I've been say, if you don't go now, you don't get 50 people. You get for shortlist. When you shortlist, who I get for do this shortlist? Now the mechanism what the government will put in place through the local government and the National Electoral Commission. Now then go get for selected and say finally. So that means if maybe not take your girlfriend or your hand, you go say no, you are not a QU. Because you not,
that's a good analogy. Let's see if we get Dr. James Matthew. Dr. James Matthew, are you there?
Yeah, Prince, let's just clear one thing, please.
Go ahead, sir, please. Just quickly.
Okay, what I try to say here is the Constitution provides you can contest under a political party or you can be an independent candidate. So if the system not broke, why you for fixer? Let them have it day. Otherwise, already the message they get clearly, where the layman self they get is that now one party they go to. And when we go get consultation, Madam Femi get the consortium into groups. You get the group where goes southeast, then you get one way go northwest. I'm telling you, my brother, we engage with stakeholders, civil society organizations, and councillors and mayors and chairpersons. They don't have a clue. They say they don't meet.
Okay, I guess Madam Femi said, you want to rub more on this talk here small. Yeah. Madam Femi, I'm sure I've been seeing you shake you a little bit. You know, you want to rub more on this talk here a little bit?
No, I can hold off first. I mean, want to rub more.
Okay, Fambulem, I want to welcome Dr. Dennis Bright. We go soon talk around.
Dennis
but one make una for no say Dr. Dennis Bright day on the program. They don't sign on. And back to the co-host, Daniel, it's all yours.
Prince.
Yes, Penny. Yes.
Nakaramo Kaba, you get it. I don't see Dr. Bright no log on it. Nakaramo Kaba day on iPhone.
Oh, okay. Nakaramo Kaba. Okay. Well, okay, family. Thank you for that correction. So Kamo Kaba is on the program. Better late than never. Welcome.
He's a little darker than. He's a little darker than.
Shortly.
A little darker than Dr. Bright.
No worries. Daniel, it's all yours.
Very dark and bright.
The decentralization agenda na a complete mockery of we development stride as a country. One, they encourage competition among different regions, right? Nigeria today Nigeria and other federal governments and other states them where then get divisions. Every state they compete. If this state gets one university, this other state they ensure they get other university. This other state they ensure they compete for airports. That competition amongst them, at local council where you gonna get different political parties. In a day, we need for stimulate that competition there amongst them. You understand it? When you come, if now one party, we don't test or don't prove in APC time, work. People then just they take and say, "Na job then get, na job, na just any kind of common job." So people then that competition not there because then I want you absent among Sierra Leoneans to a large extent to not get that competitiveness among different regions, different regions when they compete for bring development programs together, for bring Madam Femi when they talk. Me they talk from history, the 1962 election and other successive elections. In 1996, they also conduct elections. The COPPP party, when ADP, DCP, then get them candidates when be Abu Yakoma. So not to think way strange, not to so not tribal or this political party. A common in Africa. Some regions, then there's some countries, then there's some region because of the resources we then get. Then they believe say them parliamentary vote, then for put her into one block so that they go forget better say. Nothing we common in Africa. And according to the records for the people in Kono, then a constant road in the vote, a constant way the Kono people in the vote from 1962 where we will get to first democratic elections. Now so the Kono people in the vote. 1996, Abu Yakoma and all of those things. So also say now just now the reality is me they talk on. So like I always they talk, the whatever monitoring, whatever global campaign or global make the international partners they know.
Yeah, yeah, with me Montokana,
make international partners they know.
Yes.
Put your phone on mute.
Okay, it's on mute now.
Okay.
No, it isn't. So it isn't. It isn't on mute.
It is on mute now.
So like when they talk, that no one continue. I can continue.
Yeah, Daniel, go ahead. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. So like how they talk, I always say the media, the global campaign, the awareness, raising the awareness, important. A very, very important. But I can't Madam Femi say. You get people like the speaker, the param, they can't talk the way instead they see a C panel. So if during the tell them they vote for the speaker, if parliament, if the chiefs, the parliament chiefs, and I think one or two parliamentarians from NGC, if them be vote against Abbas Mundi, they reject her. The power of parliamentarians then get with all of them talk. It's good for raise awareness, raise campaign, and all of those things. But if the parliamentarians are not ready to vote, they make the activities of the progressive consortium of political parties, they become frustrated. Now the first defeat don't start with this midterm census. After 21 days, the opposition not able to secure the 3/3 majority we need for defeat that bill. So parliamentarians then vote if parliamentarians then decide, if foresee then decide say, so I long foresee with a very good relationship today between the consortium and the actual parliamentarians that we do now, so that every of our voice will be reflected in the voting pattern. If our voice not able for, if the consortium in voice not able for influence the opposition, all the opposition parliamentarians then vote. It will always be frustrating. It will always be frustrating. So there is need. It's good for raise this awareness, but also for the parliamentary votes when the instruments and they don't table in the parliament, they're very, very important. If not, the consortium will just they become frustrated. Like the consortium, they already suffer a defeat on this census. The consortium also suffer a defeat when they impose the speaker, because the sufficient parliamentary votes not there for defeat the agenda will be raised. So it's crucial.
Okay.
Let's just clear something on that way.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to have a go, you can have a go, because that was a lengthy submission there. And this is critical thinking.
On that particular issue, the law just make some clarification to me, brother. Now, very salient point, he come up with an observation. But I want to tell and say, maybe you don't know. The consortium invited all the opposition political parties in parliament. We don't get them under one roof. We don't talk to them. We don't express with concern and everything. And they don't say they're ready for work with we, because these are issues them. But like what he rightfully say, the participation of the paramount chiefs, they give the opposition parties then at parliament, they give them very difficult time for letting them get the majority or the 2/3 where they want. But the government on all these three issues, why they next so after we engagement with them, I mean, they don't do all voting. Now I make Madam Femi make reference to that particular incident on the 19th of April where they go get that Kuskas na parliament. Because the political parties, the opposition political parties, them, with the exception of the divided C4C, all the rest, from NGC, from C4C, from APC, they've all been opposed to all of them together, and then they work with we. So I just want to make that clarification. Okay. And the senior person don't come, Dr. Dennis Bright and Carmon Kaba, they go throw light on some of the issues there. I mean, just want to clear that.
If anybody want to have a go at waiting, the co-host just talk about, I mean, the floor is open. Other than that, I want to say a huge welcome to Dr. Dennis Bright and Mr. Carmon Kaba. And Fambulen, for those of you who watch the program here tonight, this is history in the making. It can be clearly said. Today, the 14th, on a Friday of May 2021, this is the then and now media empire, the Brinkanto Una, the consortium of progressive political parties led by Madam Femi Claudius Cole. On the panel tonight, we get Umfaji Kaba, we get Dr. Dennis Bright, we get Kamo Kaba, we get Iafande, and we get the co-host, Mr. Daniel Bompa Toure, and a few other people they try for join, but the internet, the buffer, which shows that there's poor internet service, unfortunately. Anyway, let's go straight to Dr. Dennis Bright. We just joined the program a few minutes ago. Dr. Dennis Bright, are you hearing me, sir? Dr. Bright?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Dr. Bright, they hearing me loud.
I've been getting some interruption, and so I will likely go over your question back.
Yeah, I will certainly do so. I just want to express with pleasure at having you on the platform here tonight, which is important in terms of the national conversation.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, I apologize when an hour they come. Honestly, an hour they reach now house. And I believe, say, when I go understand, say, you know, sometimes, you know, we can get drawn from many different points. But I've been trying to look forward to this, and I'm so happy for Cam and Mituna for joining us. But I can only take them from the point where I'm Mituna. And I've been meet, I think my co-host, been they express very legitimate concerns about the consortium in relation with the members of parliament, opposition members of parliament. But down the Infaji don't clear them for tell Fambulen say, we not get any problem with the opposition members of parliament, whether in the APC, NGC, and in fact, in the case of C4C, now just 50% of them we not able to forget yet, but we right now they in conversation with them, and we hope see very soon, because everybody seems for they in favor of the consortium now. We hope say very soon we will get them safe on board. Now, for that concern, we the co-host been get make if you go and do the math, you go find out see this not the reason we make them in fact for bring then 10 people and come na parliament. Una member say them in fact for bring 10 na parliament, then force for bring them come. In fact, they don't make we go to by election or anything like that. Safe. Then just drag them come, then drag the other people away when they go. Then we get reason for that. The reason why they do that, now because they get some kind stupid idea or convention where they don't get now see all the chiefs them then suppose for they and support the government in power. I say a stupid idea because actually we know say the chiefs then suppose for the support the state, the nation, and not a government. You know, because the government it implies saying a political party to be now. And if the chief them were supposed for be then suppose for they with the people, that is the nation itself, the state, that is across political parties or anything, the chief them are the conscience of the nation. Me no know outside and go police there say, how the chief when in the votes, then for always vote in favor of the government with it. So that now one of the big things we'll get for look. The reason why the opposition as it is now, but all the fact to fact, you understand? But all the fact will not go ever succeed. Now because the chief them, now the broker, now then get for actually decide now whose side this thing go. But now it just happened now, say the chief, they don't get the conscience of their own. They don't have a mind of their own anymore. They are like now some kind machine now. We just there for support government. Whatever government do, they suppose for vote for government. So that's now one big problem we'll get. So you find out that even if the consortium don't do all we own advocacy, we don't get all we people the opposition people now we side. But when it comes for vote, once the chief them, they say, then they put all the amper behind the government of the day. We don't get any way for stop them. There's nothing we can do. So this now make you go see something we don't fight against, then go pass them. Not to say because the opposition people do not vote in favor. No, they did. So let me make that clarification there. And I can tell now again say this consortium what they talk about, it is the beginning of a movement. Now the beginning of a movement where when it catch up with the population, when the people actually see them, then go know say for once people don't begin talk for them. Not to say we can't pan this thing so for can play. Because we were then at the consortium, we don't take all the risk we're able for take. When I say we don't take all the risk, you therefore know the kind of government we'll get now. It's almost a police state. right now, if you want to talk anything, the police, if they come up behind you. Now, right now, as I'm talking to you, there is a man when at the head of a political party. He has been in jail for 11 months. The case not done. Whatever they say the man commit, now in rights, in fundamental human rights, for then go try in case in Georgia. But that man didn't keep him in jail. Then the tell way then go for sit by in case. They say the judge not grab it. The judge they sleep. The judge no, the judge something not do him. So this is the kind of country where we are now.
Yes, sir. You get for pardon me just for the sake of time. I mean, lately I've been watching you. Let me just make a few confessions. I've been watching you, and I'm really, really impressed, sir, because you somebody who I would describe as a straight shooter, and that's exactly what you're doing. Already I watch of you prior to this interview or this conversation. You're a straight shooter, you're saying it as it is, and the way how you put is so convincing. But before I move to Mr. Kamokaba, we still don't join the program, but not able to motivate. Something where you say now I just want to pick up on because that needs to be addressed. So as this coalition come together, Dr. Bright, the hopes and aspirations of our people are beginning to build up, and they look at the consortium positively. But one thing where you say just now about the voting pattern of the chiefs in parliament, where obviously legitimately they give any government the grounds for pursue, waiting the one for pursue, then if that's the case, as how you lay them, it will be difficult. So my question to you, Dr. Bright, what did the consortium go do for avert such a kind of a problem? Because when we try to propose something, if you understand what I mean, the chiefs will always give the government of the day the number. So in this case, we will look for change. What can this consortium do for change this dynamics?
Lisa, let me tell you something. This same parliament we talk about, when they do a perception survey in this country, they say now one of the most corrupt institutions there in Sierra Leone. When they talk so, maybe not because of money, business no more, but not because of them voting pattern they are so, all na them kind thing they are so. If not them also we able pan say in terms of the voting, the chief they not go ever vote against the government too. We don't come for accept that now. You understand? Even if they want for vote against the government, then feel no more say now this nine. So what you're talking about is that how can the system itself change?
Yeah.
What in this consortium they do? First of all, it make people then become aware of the problems them, of the difficulties them, of the system, the rottenness of the system. Now they expose so ordinary people them, people always get sense like una where they put them here together. Una go able for begin amplifier to the entire country for sure say now the problem this will get to. Because we get beaucoup problem, but people them in this country, they don't seem to know about them or they talk about them. So let me show you one way where the consortium will become effective. When the consortium finally able for reach out to the people, for let the people know, say, then a terrible situation where electing anybody do, but the system as it is now is not designed for make their life better. When we don't succeed for do that, we know so get the people and behind we. I'm telling you, we not get for begin sit down. Sometimes it will come to a time safe way. Sometimes parliament go sit down, so then we just see all grab. We don't full up na the parliament for go tell them. Because we don't get blockage now. Nothing can be done because the system, they don't design them for stop any kind of democracy. And I can tell you that all what they do so far, what would they do? Honestly, now for safe democracy. So Tango come way.
Okay.
If we don't know now, say, elect the people and we they in favor of we, you know, na parliament, then vote stay. But because of the arrangement where they don't get chief included, everything will go against we. Maybe we go enter inside the parliament day, one day.
Okay.
And we'll go, yes, we'll go to Tidewata.
A message of optimism that one day. And I'll just go quickly to Mr. Kamokaba because he's been waiting patiently since he joined the room. So himself will get his own tropens for contribute to the program. Mr. Kamokaba, you belong to the most major political party. That's no secret. But at this time, you seem to align yourself with a consortium, a coalition, if you like. I wonder whether you want to tell Fambulem why and why people for join you in joining a coalition or consortium for take the country into a different direction.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad you get me on tonight. I must tell you that we are not in the consortium because we are the most majority or most powerful or popular opposition. In the consortium, we are equal. That has to be clear. It really doesn't matter. We don't even understand the coinage, small party, big party, no. And it is why UP, Unity Party leader is the head of the consortium, not the APC. And sometimes we even talk less because this is a national call. We are calling not just on political parties, we are calling on the nation for understand that something is not right in this country. And if I can piggyback on what others then don't say about the structure of our parliament, you will bear me witness if you are an attentive politician or you are an attentive social commentator or media operative in respect of what they happen at Sierra Leone, that this was all meant to be. The Sierra Leone People's Party, it's a fraud right from their manifesto. They come with pretexts. And this is why you see that they are full of stratagems, not strategies. That they deceive the people every step of the way. And they say this was meant to be because in the beginning, you see how they impose the Speaker of the House on the people of Sierra Leone by removing 10 political parties through a spineless judiciary, where they succumb to the call of the government. They replace them with people who were not voted for. That is on top of the chiefs. And you must understand that the chiefs are not in this alone. Non-state actors, they don't gang up on the people of Sierra Leone because they are mostly, for the most part, except for few, are pro-SLPP, and they were developed in the 11 years of President Tijan Kaba in the post-war period when the civil society rose up to the benefit of the country for protect democracy. It was so good for a Democrat like Tijan Kaba who opened the space for their activities, but they misunderstood the man, the late man. Now, they are all wholly hook, line, and sinker supporting SLPP for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So our political space now is closed. The civil society is being bought and sold. The media is being bought and sold. Even non-state actors like the religious leaders who used to be fervent advocates on behalf of the people and on behalf of democracy, they are all silent now. Why? It's in few words. Threat, aggression, intimidation, money. I must tell you that this government is spending more money on the media and shutting them down so that they will not speak than any other government that I know. Could you believe that in few days ago, it asked to take CNN for articulate the damnable things and corruption that is happening in the country when we have the BBC anchor here whose wife is now employed by this government. When we have the media operatives who are ready cap in hand for pre-day gifts. Are you there? Are you
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, but it seems like you're gone.
No, I'm here.
When we are
watching you, Mr. Kaba, not me.
Thank you, sir. When we have media operatives who have been given position, CSOs giving positions in government appointment, so they are very silent, they are quiet. But not only that, it's not just about the money. If they dare to speak, they'll be locked up.
All right, Mr. Kaba, you have to forgive me, sir, for the benefit of time. For the benefit of time, I just want...
Don't let me crash land. The repeal, I am still,
no, we are coming. We will come to a few issues.
Hold on, sir. I have to state this. The repeal of the Part 5 section of the Public Order Act, seditious libel and slander, is a facade. And now these people are replacing it with a cyber crime bill.
Yeah, will they come to that? Will they come to the cyber crime bill? We really not get time, Mr. Kaba. You don't make a good point, and I just want to home in on one or two things quickly, if I will, sir, please.
Please.
First of all, some people will find this a bit rich, because not too very long ago, you were a very powerful man. You were in government, you were shaping policy and calling the shots. Now you talk about the chiefs, very chiefs that you used to your own advantage, CSOs that you used to your own advantage. And here you are now saying quite the opposite. So some people will find it rich. Are you going to tell the Sierra Leonean people, something of a kind of a new beginning, Mr. Kaba, in terms of what's the way forward instead of looking at the back?
We are the most vibrant CSO environment in this country. They opposed us for everything. They opposed President Anes Bai Kuroma for not repealing the Public Order Act vehemently. They opposed him on so many things. They had the space, they demonstrated, and even the anti-corruption boss right now was at the head of demonstrations that called for Black Friday or Black Saturday, whatever. And they were given the space at all times. So therefore, it is a bit far-fetched to say that we utilize the CSOs. No. Today, even the awareness time Silver Blyden was the one who put on the head of His Excellency the President in the first year of his governance. And
Mr. Kaba, I'm sure you will have your time again, sir. We've just had one of the CSOs
to whom was very, very vibrant. The media,
Yeah, okay,
we didn't make the media, we didn't make the CSO's environment. They were all set up in the 11 years of Tijan Kaba. They owe so much commitment to the SAPP government, but that is not just the case. But now
okay,
that
Mr. Kaba,
they are using everything they set up against the people, there was a strong need for the consortium to come together, and we are calling upon all Sierra Leoneans, including SAPP, who are on the fringes, suffering, and don't like what is happening, to come on board so we can meet this bad thing that is on the horizon in the board. Because for some of us, we have been in this business so long that
I think you make a good point, because in the end, you come to the very subject matter, which is there is a necessity for let this consortium come together for the greater good against the greater evil, if I can put it in that way there. Well, I'll go quickly to Mr. Marcus Bangura, who's been waiting patiently. Mr. Marcus Bangura is a CSO. And Fambulem, I want to draw a distinction between the political party them and the CSOs them. Of course, there are accusations being levied against the CSOs, and to some people it is right, to some people it is wrong. But luckily for we will get one of the CSO then I are in person of Mr. Marcus Bangura. And what I want for let me understand as well is, even though there's a strategic allegiance now between political parties them, they don't form this consortium of political parties, but there is a necessity for less CSOs then join in the campaign. Not every lockstep along the way for side with the political party them, but just for do the national duty or the national calling, which is holding these entities into account. So, Mr. Bangura, Marcos, this is exactly what I want to bring to you, that civil society also has a room legitimately in that kind of thing there where they happen. It's not like you're a member of a political party or a member of them. You are different, but then it is your duty for stand alongside democratic principles. Are you moving along with the change, and waiting at your responsibility then, Mr. Bangura? A question is for you, please. Mr. Bangura, you phone the mute. I mean, you gadget the mute. You can unmute yourself. Okay, I think we don't lost Mr. Bangura again. So I will take this question to Mr. Iafande. When Mr. Bangura come, we will allow him for answer. So, Brother Fande, the issue of CSO, many accusations don't they throw against them. Some of them rightfully so. And as we hear, Mr. Kamokaba also throw accusations at them, and not only Mr. Kaba. But the CSOs then get a responsibility, and especially so where they come together as a body for stand up for the Sierra Leonean people. So the CSO then equally get responsibility. Is there room for them, Mr. Fande?
Definitely there's room. Just like the previous speakers, room there for everybody in this, this movement where Dr. Bright say it's a beginning of a movement. Hopefully this will lead to something bigger for the good of our country, for the good of people then. But we cannot leave anybody out. Everybody has to be inclusive, yes, especially, and I'm glad where Mr. Karamokaba say, even though APC, of course, is the larger party, but in this consortium, we are all equal. We're all on the same level playground. Nobody's bigger than anyone here. We just hope, say, just like you challenged Mr. Kaba, not too long ago they were in power. The APC was doing almost similar, things the way the SAPP do right now. We do hope, say, when the next time around, whichever party win, then go follow and the democratic way of ruling, the rule of law, instead of try for along the way try for bulldoze themselves into bringing up bills or pass laws for making them favor them because they're in power. So that goes for the APC. So we hope, say, just like Dr. Bright said, and everybody, all the previous speaker, this is a beginning of something that all of us can butt into, all of us can be in this together, including the civil society, including religious leaders, including the tribal leaders, that this is for the good of our country. You know, nobody benefits here, no one political party benefit, but for the good of the country, for stand up to the ruling party, whoever that party is, for say, listen, you can't just bulldoze yourself. You can't just pass bills that just because you want for being in power forever. You know, exactly. This issue of decentralization is a political setup, it's a political ploy for making the ruling party stay in power forever. I mean, this is a one party system in the you know, so we're not going to let that happen, you know. So everybody here is invited, and we hope say this, we as opposition parties, small or big, let's get together on board and work together as a team, and then send a one message and one voice. And then also, as I say, we're in the diaspora, we'll not go forget to brothers and sisters on the ground. We'll go support them also. We'll find ways then for make sure we support with brothers and sisters on the ground to make we fight this fight. We have to stop this. This cannot go. This cannot happen. You know, this country is bigger than any political party. Is bigger than any individual. Is bigger than any president. So president comes and go, but the country stays. And we look at 20, 25 years down the road for the future of the country, for God's sake, don't stop what is happening today, you know? And C4C, yes, we have a split in reference to the MPs and the parliament. As I stated earlier, we're working behind the scene to resolve this issue, to make sure parliament, MPs that they are in concert with this and in strong opposition to what is happening, you know? And I tell you, and I know they make promises on the air right now, but I tell you, we're working behind the scene to put a stop to the split that is happening within the C4C MPs and make sure we're in concert with our brothers and sisters in this group for make we deal in one block and vote in one block for stop some of these issues, some of these bills that were SFPD try to put through the parliament.
Many thanks, Brother Fande. Well said right there. And Fambulem, for those of you who are listening and the thousands more who subsequently get for listening to this program around the world, this is now the Then and Now Media Empire. They come to Una today, Friday, the 14th of May, 2021. The host members of the Consortium of Progressive Political Parties, which seems like a new beginning in our country. For the benefit of time, let's rush quickly to the leader of this consortium, Madam Femi Claudius Cole. Madam Femi Claudius Cole, the question here is, how can we get a better understanding of political pluralism, tolerance and internal democracy, equality, or if you want to call them political, for political parties, and the benefits where we people are able to reap from such a process? How can we attain that? Political pluralism?
Well, I think to say at the start, this is the start, this is the foundation. And in anything that, any possible bill, the strength lies in the foundation. And what you, Namika, they constantly correct you saying a consortium. When you move from the consortium to a coalition, you're talking different, you're talking a different focus. And right now, the beauty where me, in particular, they enjoy about being part of this consortium is that plurality where they talk about getting to know the different political parties, not all from a distance, but up close and personal. We begin, if we're not sabi with self, we can't work together. If we not get respect for each other, we can't work together. And if the consortium not solid, how on earth we can able to present the consortium to the 7 million people, 7 odd million people already out there? We get for able for within the consortium, agree, disagree, make plaba, malice, talk, make peace, eat together, and able for still focus on waiting at the key issues on how, and once the consortium don't strengthen itself, and as Karamo say, big party no day, small party no day. Before, you can get a condescension day. Say they go to refer to you, say, but na small party na yesterday picking, yesterday then born, you know what I eat, you know run it. But now, this consortium, all America inside the consortium is equal. And as equal partners, we're able for really come together for see what now we focus. It's easy for let we diversify, we focus and begin for go wider and wider. But for now, what thing we don't do so far with decentralization, for me on Pato as the leader, as it were, proud. This consortium, I don't think we done 6 months, 8 self way we can together. We don't able for organize ourselves in such a way where we able for do a consultation out with, as Mr. Umfajimene tell you, we organize ourselves properly. We go south, we go north, we engage vast amounts of people, engage the media on a consultation of the consultation where the government people let me say they don't do, where the people then say yes. So the decentralization policy. So this, once you get the coming together of people with all different issues and all different problems, and we're able to solve them within the consortium, we're ready for go show we safe now with that plurality where they talk about. So the people say now with this, it's possible for like political party then different one, different region, different tribe, able for come together. And then in the key. If we're able for speak with one voice, if we're able for keep the consortium going from strength to strength, we can able go to the north, we can able go to the south, we can able then a Freetown, we can go rural, we can go urban. The consortium go get a bond as it were. And if at some point if the consortium able for transform itself into what you they talk, every utterance is a prayer, what's in the word where they say? What's a consortium? Coalition. Even Daniel Toure go be proud of, because you not go say na Minde party, you not go say na Kono party, you not go say na Creole party. It will then have the plurality, which na the success go lie. But we still they nurture them. The consortium still then at that nursery stage. We they water them, we they watch them, we they pull the weed them, we really want to make it grow. So we not go rush ourselves. If you rush, you they crush. And if you fail for plan, you plan for fail. And we not plan for fail at all. So the consortium, they work on that, getting to know one another, getting to appreciate one another, getting to understand who side this party they come from, who side that party they come from. But as I tell you from the beginning, we get more where they keep we together than waiting they divide we. It is amazing. The fact that say we have 17 political parties, a testament to our democracy, or multi-party democracy. The fact that 13 able come together and stick together, there is hope. For me on Pato, I believe there is hope.
Daniel.
This is very, very impressive. The coming together of different political parties, and Dr. Dennis Bright highlights some, mention some stuff where I just want to highlight quickly. Government's business, now serious business. Any sign of the world, any sign of Africa, we chiefs then they na parliament, na a misnomer. Ghana, then Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, every of them continue, you know, get chiefs then at the parliament.
At all.
Chiefs then forget what they call, then get a national house, a council of chiefs. Because when they're in a parliament, the agenda when they're in a parliament, government, the central government goes get so much plenty agenda that they don't get time for chief issues. And what is studied on proof say when then are their houses then they of chiefs, then get opportunity for look at issues then where they bring can reform within them chieftaincies then they how they for relate more and better with the central government. But why you don't bring them kind of parliament? Like I said, I watch one video where Milty Magai they talk say then chiefs here, then don't deal with me for some time. I not go left the land and just they will bring in kind of central government. That not to any very baseless reason for include the chiefs there. So me, they encourage the consortium now that before 2023, because if you put SLPP and parliamentarians then together now 59 with the chiefs now 14, they don't give them totally 73 votes instantly. Where they talk about that you get 3 independent parliamentarians, right? When you don't put them on, and they don't need much again for them. I make you see the president recently. They give them chiefs them. They give them chiefs car, then jeep, then this, all of those things. I encourage the consortium for work with them parliament, with the opposition parliamentarians. Then can introduce a private members bill. Private members, it can be suicidal, right? Because when you introduce them and they for remove chiefs, you know, then chiefs then go get mine, then go talk, then go tell them subject, then not vote for now during the election. Those things are suicidal, they can be suicidal, right? You know, Ghana they able to do that after then coups them that 1966 coup, after all of them interregnum, then they when they get the first election 1969, President Buzia then say this thing, then chiefs they are don't discuss the thing, say why are they not fit for the Naya? Because it wouldn't deny every government wouldn't deny power, including APC, then they use them. Every time they want them for votes and they didn't vote because the chiefs then they free. You understand? So the chiefs then, if anything the way the consortium for do them for mobilize, me know they sit down they happen at Sierra Leone, like private ordinary opposition member, then they draft bill. Opposition member then for the able draft bill. Even if you not succeed, even if they raise the issue, you not pass na parliament, you not get the required vote, let them raise them. But you know, they see most parliamentarians in Sierra Leone in the right bill. You know, it's strange. When you did in America, you did in England, you see opposition people in the right bill, in the present and parliament. Then they take challenge government on every front. Let them go no more the team defeated. But then they're not there in Asalo. And they encourage them if anything then they do, let them draft a bill and introduce some private members bill say this thing then chiefs they are there for commot na they don't need for dinner, they're not important for dinner, they're not relevant for dinner. Then get side where them go there, where them a platform where them go there, discuss issues, how relevant issues, how they go they take charge of themselves and how they go better relate to government. We were in there. I've been doing undergrad now for college. Around we come together, students then we write a bill. That access to information bill we APC passed so in 2013. That students then we Emmanuel Abda, we didn't have to college. We write the bill. We go meet. We go to parliament. We go popularize the bill in parliament. That's when the Aneskoma in the opposition. Me, Emmanuel Abdullahi, Rosemary Kaiban, all undergraduates now for college. We go meet them. We go meet President Kuma. It was opposition. We were introduced to President Kuma. I was the PRO of the team. We were introduced to President Kuma and Alpha Kana introduced to, and then in our parliament opposition. We go meet them. We tell them, say, this Freedom of Information Bill, the Public Order Act. We go show them the bill. We say we let them make commitments. Say we make a commitment that if you win 2007, you then repeal this thing. You know, just we are students. You know, so when President Kuma win, you know, then do the access to information bill. You know, then get the access to information commission now. And we just feel that seizing people in like IB Cargo when I past president of slide. You get Alpha Khan, you get Mohamed Bangura. All of them people away. People who don't practice media. You understand? And so you know, now one side then we be disappointed in them that they're not able to them. For the most possible I'm surprised for IB Cargo because you know exactly how that bill they affect journalists. And then on that side, a campaign with the opposition, a campaign against that, take kind of power, he come as minister. Dr. Julius Spencer also is another media guru, where we oppose that in the, we be in the opposition, we can now as Minister of Information, and all will pass that bill. So it just show, you know, so now one side and the way me they commend this government, this SLPP government, and this soiree they got for that, the minister soiree, even though they try to do something now with this but I give them that credit say that then get the guts for say, because any government where they say, any government where they refuse to pass them bill and they for pass them for repeal that 1965 Public Order Act, they will criminalize some parts of journalism. Now, because you afraid, you want continue for keep you corruption. You don't want them to show the things the way they do. Okay, so we want to see before this parliament in term they done. Let parliamentarians then begin for write bill. Then they introduce a private member bill, even if they don't win. Let them they raise more of the issues. You know, so a lot of things it's very good. This the coalition comes together, the consortium comes together, they look at issues, but they tell you with the number of with 146 parliamentarians, the opposite, the SLPP and the chiefs there alone, they able get 73 votes. No bill, no the way any way go the other way, no way any three quarters of the opposition will vote against that will get them bill and they defeated. The issues then will be raised, and all of those things will be raised, the awareness will be raised, but at the end of the way, then table in a parliament, man, these chiefs are going to vote for this bill, and then nobody not going for defeat the bill. So it's unfortunate.
Okay.
That was a lengthy one there. Anybody? Okay, I see Madam Femi Claudius. Dr. Dennis Bright. Of course, everybody wants to talk about that. Yeah, Dr. Dennis Bright. Yeah, yes. Come on, about you turn the cam. Everybody,
no,
because that was
lengthy.
Everybody gets a tick.
Unfortunately, I get for left una shortly. But Abuan said to Daniel, so you talk one thing saying a suicide mission. So you want us to become kamikaze consortium. And I tell you something, our Speaker of the House has a hearing deficiency. He cannot distinguish the eye service from the nail service. So as Dr. Bright highlighted, the perception survey already spoke to the perception of our parliament. I stop there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Dr. Bright.
Anyway, Daniel raised a lot of issues there. The first thing I want for reassure him is that definitely private member motion, me know of one way me associated with. One of them private member motion day now about that to sim bill. So Dr. Kande Yumkela done the push down in fact we don't actually write the bill safe. In fact we make an omnibus bill. We include this one about, you know, say we then get this law we prohibits people that will get dual nationality, you know, for all certain positions and everything. So we feel very strongly about that, and we have been pushing that. The second thing on the omnibus, now the one about women, we want to push this one about the minimum of 30% of women being in parliament. And then the third aspect is women, and that's the third aspect. Now for the one that we want for stand, public official want for stand election. We then say now 1 year, now if for don't resign. So we they push for they reduce that one day to about 3 months or even 6 months if now that the waiting call. So those three things, I can assure you now that there is a bill that is being proposed for them. So it is not as if these things don't, but I can tell you that because of the composition of parliament, because of the same thing we discussed, the chief then this we deal with this and that, because of that, you find out that we have to do a lot of lobbying, even inside parliament, before you go put up. Otherwise, you go put up for waste your time. I'll give you an example. Now, where you go bring them in and you want to go push them. We find out, see, people even within the current, the SLPP, within a parliament, we find out, say, they no want to encourage this, to sim. They don't encourage her. Because basically, then they look, say, if they begin letting open out for them for come, you know, so then they go in a better financial position, then they go unbog them, and plenty of them can't take them position. So there is a lot of feelings about this and that sort of thing. So we find out that rather than you go make this bill, you just go push them. So we've been doing a lot of lobbying for get people and for understand, say, I mean, you have a lot of people them with a lot of talents and resource, human resource out there that this country, you can't deprive them. Anyway, I just give you that one day. But I want to come to some of the things that we will talk about now. This, when we talk about this country, we talk about whether in parliament they will do this or that. I'm telling you, the way the parliament done do now, it's a no-go area. If na parliament you want to talk about now, we can tell you that, and they say it's a big mess. Okay? It is a big mess. If we really talk about change, that now one of the areas them where we for don't keep in mind. Say, if we are able to get the people of this country to vote properly, that's now one of the first areas that will change. But you get the judiciary, you know, because all what you talk to now, quick then don't care and go na court. When then care and go na court, well, you don't go inside the lion in mouth. The institutions where compose, you know, and where if you put them together now, they make democracy. Those institutions are rotting and they are not functioning. They are dead. Take it from me, my brother. If you say you're going to court now for anything, you can never have the assurance that justice will prevail on your behalf. Take it from me. So we get at that situation there. Look, now a court, now take a decision, say, the legislature, they go put people away they don't vote for. Not the legislature. I don't know if you see what they talk about. So within a situation where everything now is rotten. And people need to understand what we are talking about.
Okay,
when we talk about this consortium, honestly, we're talking about, is it possible for us to draw a line? Because when you talk to Karamokaba, I'm just saying, I'm for tell Karamokaba, I'm for be very direct with Karamokaba, you know, you understand? But
one suggest something, sir, and to the rest of the panel.
Sorry?
Sorry for caught you in mid-flow because you articulate something very important. So
Okay.
sincere apologies. But now just on the basis of time, Dr. Bright, so what I want to suggest, this thing we don't embark and engage on is very, very important. And time, now elusive commodity, never really enough. But if we can continue for do this, probably we agree, say, every week or every month, depending on what we agree on, because we want home the message to the Sierra Leonean people, so that we go get enough time and we decide how long it will be. That will be a very, very good thing, Doc, I believe. You can continue, Doc, but I mean, just want to suggest this to the rest of we. We have to continue for home this message.
I agree with you, Cesar. And honestly, this is all we are looking forward to. Because the consortium is not just a few people who don't come together. Yes, we are thinking that the country should change now. Okay, we have the capacity to make things different. But like una within a them position then they now for the help for talk to the people. Because between me and you, the consortium can talk a lot of things there. But if we don't go say election come, they begin shape that money. Like how they don't begin shape now, they make microcredits.
Okay.
Then they make microcredits now.
So Dr. Bright, now they are get for stop you now because we get small time left and we want to talk to the rest of we within at the platform and we get few questions them. So going forward, if we can make them quick, so we're able to address all the other things that we want to talk about for wrap up this program, this very beautiful program. I shall say Kamokaba get something for say on waiting Daniel talk about, then reflection and the way Dr. Bright been there on, and equally Umfaji Kabage similar thing, for way on. But if we can make them short because we get few questions we want to ask and address and quick before we close this program here tonight. Mr. Kamokaba, you get something for say, sir, waiting the co-host say?
Well, eventually, now you actually see that we have to utilize fora like yours for let we speak out. It's not we who are afraid of speaking. It's the media environment in Sierra Leone that is afraid of hosting us. So we are looking for alternative means now for let we get to the population because thank God of the new media, the social media and media platforms like yours, where they provide for the way we able get into, for let we able articulate and let we mobilize our people for make them understand that the consortium is here to stay. It is not about APC, it is not about UP, it is not about C4C, etc., etc. This consortium, we came together so that we can actually protect democracy because the threat to democracy in Sierra Leone is given. So I admire the CSO impositions on the issue. But for us, we know that you, the host of this particular conversation, the CSOs, the way you bring come on board, and all Sierra Leoneans now will see the need that then we are for both of them. Now, both game now, because they don't grab power and they want consolidate them, they want grip. And one thing I must tell you, you have three sisters or some kind of three track where they are now. The census is one track. The voter registration is another track. The local government bill is another one. I understand a moving train is on 2 tracks, but these people are on 3 tracks. And they are doing it all at once.
Okay.
So no, hold on. What that means is that they have the soldier, and the soldier now, we're ready for whack everybody in behind. If you don't go with the 3 tracks, is the cyber crime. And the media is not seeing that they are really trying to eliminate them from the arrangement. And the Minister of Information went on the media on 98.1, who is now more in tune with the system than the people, and told the people that, and told the media that this cybercrime is not about you. If it's not about the media, then it's about the people and the opposition parties.
Okay, Mr. Kaba.
So
Mr. Kaba, thank you very much, sir. Like I say, we gradually run out of time and we get few things that
but
we
they are
want
irreadiness.
for
We have time. This is our job. We are career politicians. We want to articulate the issues. If you want to have us all night, we are here, sir.
Okay. No
so
problem
they want to grab us.
Ufaji, you want to touch on this thing quickly where Brother Daniel talk about? Just weigh in quickly because we got a few questions for ask before we close this program.
Yeah, Prince. Okay, Prince. I really appreciate and admire Daniel, besides the historic
absolutely
facts and where they give it, but of the challenges with this consortium they go get for face and what they face right now. And one of the things where they about this consortium is that the consortium wants every Sierra Leonean for own this project. Own the project in the sense that like when you give it this opportunity for address the issues here on the platform, we get a responsibility for inform people about what's happening, for educate them about what's the issues and what's the pitfalls and what's the disadvantages. Now let we get with viewers therefore let understand something. The whole thing I have centered up on 1 or 2 things. One, if you look at the composition of the public institutions that now we get to do with election and democracy and everything, those institutions have been captured. What you get now in this country now, institutional capture. Then when you come out that for let them able to capture the institutions there and dictate and run them to their own convenience and how they want to make it be to the detriment of the people of this country, it takes you to the second stage where you get for do with state capture. Because the way how the people have vote, the main opposition party now for day today and then get the speaker, like how the previous speakers they know they say. But when you get the 3 organs of government under the government, when at the legislature, the executive and the judiciary, they don't already capture that one day. Then they get their state institutions where they don't take them party card holders, patrons, for be chairman, for be commissioners, for be this. So in the final say the political space don't close. And therefore, with all them bills in the past, if we not get to people and for let them know what in the happen, and for let them embrace them, let them welcome this consortium and work with we. Some people can share information with we say, not to everything we go know, but let we not just limit and say, now then 3 key issues there. Now that not the work no more what the consortium get. No, this now work when every Sierra Leonean and would encourage every Sierra Leonean for own this project. Because if not to that, by the time when I go realize, we'll go down
we'll be too late. Okay, Mfaji.
Thank you.
Okay, Mfaji. Many thanks. Marcos Bangura, are you there? Marcos, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, Marcos. Thank you so much for being there. Make a pause. We come towards the end of this program. 1 or 2 quick questions to you, first of all, and to Fambule. I want to distinguish political party or the consortium for progressive political parties as opposed to the entity you belong to, which is CSOs, civil society. But you will agree with us that there is a need that civil society is part and parcel of the process. Democratic governance, if you like.
Yeah, to a very large extent, you know, the objective of the consortium I want to believe, for the national interest, the interest of the ordinary citizen. And that respect, civil society, they operate in that perspective. The difference between political party and the civil society is that, in the first place, political party are a group of people of like minds with the objective of capturing political power, govern. Whilst civil society are a group of people with like minds equally, with the objective of actually fighting for the interests of the people, but then they outside government. So it's about the country, Sierra Leone in general. And we as civil society, we want to see a country where progressive. Say, for example, we talk about pluralism. And what we see from the consortium, you know, people of different backgrounds, different political views, different political ideas, come together, you know, and form a consortium. That is political pluralism. We're very, very good for democracy. If we achieve the principles of democracy, if we achieve the principles of good governance, the kind of we want to see into force. Bumper, when they talk about the chiefs, say, we forget the chiefs out of parliament. Yes, to some extent, but if we go back to history, that the first time we get paramount chiefs into the Legislative Council, in the 1924 Constitution, we get 3 paramount chiefs there. And we are there to represent the North, South, and East with the objective of catering for the general interest of the people. And this will become a tradition. We get to what they call political culture. That political culture is the idea of a people, of a people on the political system of a country. And that political culture over time don't become a political, you don't go through political socialization. And to a very large extent, people are not accept them as custom and tradition. So it good that, because sometimes they look at the 2 political parties, the APC and the SPP, they have all used the paramount chiefs over the years, you know, at their own advantage at the detriment of the state. Say, for example, when it comes to voting, they can vote in the interest of the government just because of the fact that the government gets authority, so they operate at the mercy of the government. It's a good idea if only we can work on that in terms of nationally, work on that and make sure, say, it is generally accepted and we get rid of it. But the representation, they are not too bad to some extent, despite the fact that it gets some disadvantage. In everything, as far as politics is concerned, you get the advantage and the disadvantage. I'm so happy for the consortium itself, you know, coming together for the first time. It make us reflect back into history when Sierra Leone made a move for regain independence. Because of political tolerance, political pluralism, you find out, say, even Santi Magai was able to galvanize political parties. They come together, they work, and through that, they'll be able to achieve the independence, despite the fact that there were issues there. So if political parties then come together, not for their own personal aggrandizement, neither their own interests, but for the interest of the people of Sierra Leone, I think we as civil society can support that as far as they do one for the interest of the people, not merely for themselves. So civil society, there is a distinction between civil society that is space between the people and the government, right? We live between the people and the government, that's a society and government. Like in the area of intervention and good governance, I'm very much particular about good governance. I mean, like good governance campaigner. Let's foresee where issues of good governance is being put into effect. But if we look proper, you know, you find out, say, for the past 3 years or even more, you find out, say, the issue of good governance has been undermined in various perspectives, looking at the issues in parliament, looking at even one principle of good governance is that of a promise. When you make a promise to people, you are obliged to make sure, especially the government, you are obliged to make sure, say, that promise is fulfilled. Once it is not fulfilled, it is dishonesty. And good governance, they frown at that heavily. So it's good, a program of this nature is good. And I'm very sorry that I can't get into the program as a result of light and all that. And because of time, I'm not able to contribute much. But it is good that, yeah. So it is good that you host this kind of program, it is good that there is a consortium. I see them as progressive. I see them as nursing the seed of pluralism. And once that is nursed, there is a possibility for making it grow over time. And when it grow over time, we'll be able to achieve, or then be able to achieve the objective, because it's not only going for something, but going for something that should be achieved. That should be the objective. And I know a lot of Sierra Leoneans want to see that. Me get the conviction, or like a lot of people, we believe, say, perhaps the consortium actually come for pull SLPP in office. No, they have not come to actually remove the SLPP from office. But eventually, if it happens, it can happen. But what is important is the fact that these are guys with one mind. These are progressive people, understand? We want to see a kind of development in the country. So there are a lot of issues and therefore address, a lot of issues to be addressed.
Yeah, okay.
Looking at the issue of good governance. Because once there is good governance is undermined, the country can progress.
Okay, Marcus, many thanks. I wish we had more time to come, in the near future. But I want to squeeze in one before I let you go. Okay. And these are the issues of allegations that CSOs are not addressing issues of impunity. Plenty of them. Gross abuses and human rights violations across the country that some of us wake up and see on a daily basis. I could mention dozens of cases are happening right now as we speak. And there is against organizations of yours. The issues are not being addressed. What do you say to that, Mr. Bangura?
Yes, except where somebody blind or, accept the facts, there is that kind of a division, among civil society activists. You get pro-government civil society activists. You're able to detect that by what they say and what they do, Again, you also get a group of civil society where they refer to as critical of government. For example, we fall under that particular category here. We don't do a lot. For example, this is 3 years since this government came up. We don't do a lot of things. Say, for example, there was an incident in Mile 91. That incident, we sponsor ourselves. We go to Mile 91. We unveil the facts where a lot of people can come for see. We don't do a lot of things. So as a result of that, I don't think real civil society fall under that particular category there. But you get a lot of others, people that get rights, but become suspicious, forget distrust for civil society. But it cannot be generalized, in the sense that it's common all over the world. In fact, sometimes you see certain civil society, even in the United States, they are pro-government. We don't see that where some civil society, they work hand in glove with government. Right? Or like government, even the ostracized way, government, the marginalized way, that we are critical on the issues of governance. And me, for one, will say we will always get issues with government because the area of intervention are good governance. And the opposite of good governance is bad governance. And we are against bad governance. And we don't see a lot of bad governance in practice. And most of these issues of bad governance in practice, we don't attack them times without number, on television, on radio, on audios, and a lot of things. Like me, they serve as a political analyst. And most times when issues of that nature, once I'm invited on television stations, I make sure that I go and try to do justice to that. But again, sometimes for later even invite me, on certain television stations or radio stations, it's very, very difficult. The rationale, we don't know. But I think we've been playing well. But I get the conviction that just because we are critical, and we have to be critical as civil society, as I mentioned earlier, we occupy space. And that space is a public space. And that space should be utilized. And we have been utilizing it for some time, for quite too long. And we don't go stop, we go continue for utilize them. So in respect of your question, it is glaring that some civil society have been carried away, right? Whilst others still, they hold the fort. We hold the fort very strong, and we keep the ball rolling without fear and without favor. But it is a fact we are not denying. When you talk about civil society, as we are divided, I want to say, divided not in structure, but divided in principles, divided in ideology, you understand? And if I take into consideration again of the fact that we get various areas of intervention. They intervene on good governance. You also get others who intervene on certain areas. Those sometimes with the seeded camp. And a lot of civil societies have been appointed, individuals, you understand? Then gets the whole key positions then, right? Which is not bad, but you don't forget the fact, say, you have a responsibility, and that responsibility is for the general interest of the people. Whatever you do, if you do it for the interest of the people, not for your own personal interest. For which we see with many people and get jobs, they are scared, because they are at the mercy of the government. So as a result of that, they are feared and they're afraid for actually criticize governments. You see, quite recently we see a civil society.
Even though you come in at the last moment, you seem to capture the show. But let me take this last few questions to Mr. Iyafande, Dr. Denise Bratton, Okaba, and then yield the floor back again to the co-host. We get something as short in the waiting. The question to you, Mr. Fande, is looking at with democratic outlook, if you like. Even though we made gains, let me say, after the civil strife, for example, because one of the reasons why we went into this interaction, because of the same political issues there, rightfully for the people, went to war, if you were like, at the time that day. Waiting emerged from that day. I think we lost Iyafande briefly.
No, I'm here.
He's back with us. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, sir. The point what they tried to make is like all the gains the way we make after the war, couple of elections, free electoral process, change of governance, respect for human rights and the rule of law. There seems to be, if we take an outlook now, like we are backsliding just over the past 3 years or 4 years. Right? We've got disturbing evidences of the challenges. We don't record major decline, both on the international and domestic level of the indices. This is not me saying this, it's sir. What are you proactively, or what will you proactively do in terms of this consortium they talk about for bring about meaningful changes so that we people then go benefit from a structure, not only them, but generations yet unborn in this country go derive some benefit from?
Okay, thank you very much. I will just thank you also, Prince, for inviting me. I have another commitment, so after this I will take my leave, but thank you for this question, though. This is very, very crucial. It's a very, very important question. With the upsay, first of all, that, I want to be blunt here. The answer to your question, though, is for SierraLeoneans to think outside the box. We need for change them to party them, have another presidency from another political party, where you go bring a change to this country, okay? This idea of having APC, SLPP as the two political parties that when they don't rule this country for 60 years, it's got to stop. This is our major problem, This is because these two parties for the last 60 years is independence, for the past 60 years. I don't see each party can they take advantage of the chiefs, they take advantage of the media, they take advantage of the civil society, they take advantage of the citizens. So it is like a roller coaster thing, it's like a circle. It's a vicious circle that's happening with these two political parties. The only change that's gonna realize people from it and go benefit from this country, from what they've deprived, is to think outside the box and have a third party, somebody from a third party for rule this country. I don't see what else they go do. Outside of that, we are doomed, because these two institutions or these two political parties have been instituted for me, then go rip the country. Anyone can have power, the same issue. The same issue is just a different day, different political era, different administration, but it's the same issue for the past 60 years. It doesn't change. It's not going to change until we change the directory or the direction of this country, the trajectory of politics, and bring a third party to rule this country. I don't see to them go before. We don't know one. Okay. Two, I will say the institution of Sierra Leone, just like Dr. Bryce said, they're completely dead. Until we strengthen the judiciary, we strengthen the media, will strengthen the legislation the legislatures them.
The institutions of the state, until we strengthen them.
Yes, until we strengthen those areas, you know, this is not going to change because the judiciary, the party in power, they've been bought by the judiciary. They will rule in their favor, no matter what it is.
Mr. Fande, with all due respect, sir, is the question beggars how? We know this. We know the symptoms. Now, that's what we don't know, so we keep trying. This consortium don't come together. Is how are we going to change these dynamics? This is what I suppose we hope for in the consortium, don't we?
Well, that's good because now the consortium would inclusive of all political parties, including APC. Hopefully, APC next time they come in power, then we're able to realize how difficult it is to be on the opposition, how serious it is to do the right thing for the.
So you're not already predicting that the APC.
No, I'm not predicting that.
In terms of all this consortium thing that we're talking about.
I'm not predicting that. What I'm trying to say, you know, it's good for them to be part of this consortium in a way because it humbled them as an opposition. Because to be honest, they're the two largest party. They're the two largest party in the country. So it humbled them where they're in power for them to not say, you know, you have to rule by the rule of law. You have to go by the rule of law. Democracy has to prevail. So I'm glad they are part of this. And I'm telling you, this is a change. This is a movement of change that's going to benefit our people. And it's just a matter of time that SierraLeone is going to realize that, you know, they need a third force, or they need a third, somebody from outside of the APC and the SPP to rule this country, from and go bring them outside of the box and bring some new ideas, bring some new energy, bring some new folks into the political system, because these two parties recycle the same old politicians, they're the same old ministers.
The same old, you know? Yeah.
So we need a major change. We need a major change across the board, you know, for us to realize what this country can really, really benefit out of our citizens.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That
Daniel, before Mr. Fande go,
wait till you do this now. You make
before Mr. Fande go,
a big smile, the biggest smile on platform just now.
Daniel, before Mr. Fande go,
can
I want to say thank you very much to Ram for this last passionate submission we make. And I want to tell Nasi, this is what they call the consortium. Remember what I've been telling Nasi is the beginning of a movement. This consortium is, you guys are already part of the consortium. That's what we are trying to say to you, because we're all thinking in the same direction. It's a change of mindset for our people. That is, with the change of mindset, we know that many other things will be added to it, including the change of the institutions there, where we they talk about so now. Most of una they understand. Una they pray God for let the country change, for make una go feel proud for come inside for come. Listen, what we are doing now, we they try for indicate to the population of this country that we have to draw a line now, that enough is enough. Let us change. Look, Kamo Kabawa de Ziso, with Dennis Bright, with Femi Krojo School, with Tula, and all those people. When we sit together, we discuss about Sierra Leone. We don't discuss about ourselves. We want to see how we can make this country better.
Absolutely, Dr. Bright. I want to interject this respectfully. We are Only I want to yield the floor to Mr. Toure for close the program. But before I yield the floor to Ram, just a quick one, Dr. Bright, Kamokaba, you will talk. Bumper Toure will allow you to talk. I just want to follow because we can go on and on. But we just want to say this, how much we appreciate you now on the platform. So the viewers, them not forget for tuning tomorrow, we get a big one. 6 major players inside the All People Congress will be on this party platform tomorrow. And this includes Dr. Samora Wilson Matthew Kamara will be on the platform tomorrow, including retired Major Alfred Paulo Conte, one-time Defense Minister of the Republic of Sierra Leone, will be on the platform tomorrow. And this will include the former ambassador to the People's Republic of China and one-time minister under the All People, Dr. Ambassador Almami Petito Camara will be on the platform tomorrow. So will also be the former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Alhaji Kemose, will be on the platform tomorrow. Along Alhaji Chief Tonkla Bangura will be on the platform tomorrow. And Sister Fatima Conte will also be on the platform tomorrow. I think there's 1 or 2 more that don't play in my head, but join the platform tomorrow and watch this thing as part of the national conversation. Please do. And as I've been saying again, to get them here tonight, it's been a wonderful run. I will leave to Brother Bumper Toure for close this program. Not even enough, because like for Dr. Dennis Bright, there were so many questions I had for him, because it's been a straight shooter. I had the opportunity for asks about issues around corruption. The Africanist press, the office of the First Lady, the office of the Chief Minister, all the allegations today. But on this basis, I want to say, Dr. Dennis Bright, you we have to talk about these things. For Faji Kaba, me respect, because you've always been a part and parcel of the platform. And Mr. Kamokaba, this is your first time appearing on the platform. I hope you will come again, because we'll get many issues for discuss. Freddie Cole is gone because she's got other issues to attend to. Yeah, funding as well, but I definitely know that the brother will come again. Without taking much more time, as soon as I go understand, I want to yield the floor to Brother Bumper Toure for close the program, whether with a question, statement, or submission, where all man will get a chance for answer, and we will close the program. Thank you very much, guys.
First thing we want to say, this consortium is very, very impressive, and I think this kind of platform and then other subsequent platforms, then they really need for there around for give this part of for give this consortium voice. You know, I really be able for I really they appeal if now you design a program, they're able for sort themselves, they're able for arrange for themselves for get a program, they need for get a platform, they need for get a voice. Because most of them now, them programs, then local media stations, then at the country, then they afraid for broadcasting, they're afraid for give them platform. So platform like this very, very important. Now, the 2023 elections is therefore be a very, very defining election, because SLPP gets 59 parliamentary seats now. They know say if with this kind of number we then get, and we then 10 parliamentarians, they will then remove from the APC. If they go into election today, then they lost all their seats in the SLPP know that. SLPP still, APC still popular in zones then they, where them parliamentarians, they remove them parliamentarians then. Me no the support, because me no the support then tell parliamentarians then, because they know that the constitution say, if you did now the constitution, if they take money now the consolidated fund, for run for parliamentary seats. They know that very well. Then just take advantage, because they know say something APC, then they anticipate say APC they win. So that in a clear something. I read law like so I'm very clear about that issue. I just the process, then for make sure say the appeal and all of those things, then be very quick and swift. But because they know say in the constitution, for if they take money at consolidated for for go election, parliamentary election. If you read that, you see in the book, you read that. If you go there, you know, get somebody for blame. So, but I just know say the SLPP the SLPP frightening that if they conduct election today, then they lost all their seats and they then go still. So if they conduct elections today, now 49 seats then they get. So they're very careful, they're very conscious of that. And they know if they know say if they lost this election, the government will succeed them, then go all into strong accountability. The issue of political parties, APC and SLPP, they don't do too much. So I go want to let Brother Fande tone down, because if you go within a group, you talk so, you know, not so that they forbid the focus, you know, let that not be the focus, because if APC 7 can begin conscious, say, oh, this, now that's not the focus. And then, you know, the problem at Sierra Leone is that politics is tied to survival. Anytime politics tied to survival is dangerous. Plenty people in there where they know say if APC win, if APC win, would me they get job. If SLPP win, I they get job. If APC lost, if APC win, I they lost me job. If SLPP win lost, if SLPP win, I they lost me job. Now I make you see them then civil servants when they're not supposed to meet pan politics, then they go by election, and they go campaign, because they know say if they lost election, if this party then lost election, then they lost their job, then they lost their survival. Whenever politics is tied to survival, it's dangerous. So if you look at the whole West Africa, the one whole West Africa, the only country where the two parties the way come where they bring the independence, where they still they function. The only country where they happen at Sierra Leone. Ghana, the two parties the way bring the independence is that not to the Indian power. Nigeria, not to the Indian power. Gambia, not to the Indian power. Mali, not to the Indian power. The only country where it happened na Sierra Leone. And we don't see from their instances that then time where Temu Bangura, then 1996, where Temu Bangura came, you know, where Charles Magaisef came in 2007. You see the merger how they make, you know, but the thing, you know, impressive, because even when they join into one political party, the party where now the leading party try to take advantage of them. So by the next way you look the next election, they are not a better political party again. So the issue of APC and SLPP, they don't do for long. Then a very, very difficult issue, because they get to take real awareness, real consciousness. And may not see much of that, because you see more of the player them. You know, people and they don't serve na SLPP as minister. People and don't serve na APC as minister. Then they go back and then go form the new party and all of those things. So not so the nomenclature, not so just the nomenclature, not the process then. You know, we really need people who get mind, heart for government, that when they're in our opposition, what they talk in our opposition, when they can have power, then they can institute, you know, so then they can execute. Like Marcos they talk. Marcos, I agree on most of the things that we talk. Marcos, we meet undergrad, we go meet at the law department. I think I've been told you finally I left there in Calvaya. Civil society organizations and day-to-day, where you talk, where you label for government, then they give appointment, and they appoint you as board member, and they appoint you as this, then they appoint you as this. You know, so that make the civil society not too effective. It's when APC lost, when SLPP lost just now, you go see batch of civil society, then they become more effective. You know. So all of those things, we just need people to be really, really serious and focused. This consortium is impressive. Let us just give them a lot of platform, give them a lot of popularity, let them issues them. They go out to people and people are able to understand the message them well. Then they look at issues them. You know, when people then begin to say they're this consortium very, very impressive in attacking issues. 1, 2, 3 issues, 4, 5. You begin to see the kind command, the kind authority, the kind public approval what they get from people. People they look na salon for group organizations where then they believe say they wire, then they come for can help we out. If that trust that trust it don't be built inside people based on the consortium in continuous activity, in continuous programs them. Believe you me, they go reach a point at some point, like where Ms. Femi when they talk, I go reach at some point, something can just happen. Like what happened at Gambia, something can just happen. It take a coalition for able to remove somebody like Jammeh. People then realize, because when it cancel the coalition and they also people then they say, who that get for lead? Who that get for lead? So you get for take humility and all of those things for people for just come together. But as I tell you, SLPP are very, very frightening about this election, because if they make election today, even if SLPP wins the presidential, they know so then they lost the parliamentary seat. Because all the 10 seats and the way they take so from the opposition, if they go conduct the election today then they lost. So the coalition, this consortium, therefore be focused and get the agenda straight and make sure so they use lots of channels, them social media channels, them and other things, them for get a message across to the population of Sierra Leone.
So last word, 2 minutes, everybody. Who want to go first? Dr. Dennis White, I see you. Igor, you want to go first, sir?
Yeah. Me, I would like to go first. I want to say, to the last speaker that we in the consortium, we go promise when I say we're going to do our best for change the political narrative in this country. We realize we all are SierraLeoneans. We all know what's wrong with the country. But we all been they talk we own different because people they seek their own personal interests, their own individual interests. But one thing that is changing with this consortium is that people want to put aside their individual interests and begin for think in terms of the country. But if you go, honestly, if you can watch, what's really a problem in this country is that very few people have been thinking about the country. They have been thinking either about themselves, their family, their region, their tribe, and so on and so forth. But something is changing. And you will see that the consortium as it is now, it gets a variety. It reflects the diversity we get in our country, what we're supposed to be proud of. People learn from different areas, from different, what would they sit on a consortium? Nobody they ask Infaji. Who that they sit on the member, whether he come out Southeast or within back. We're not gonna have time this set. To God. So we get for come to a realization where we were then at the political class, but also even the one that we did at the civil society. We have to begin to talk to our people for let them understand, say, the only two tribe within our country, now the tribe of the one that we get money and influence versus the one that we not get nothing. Honestly, now the two tribes in Dandy. And honestly, we have to make sure that our people understand that they are being conned. Now, conned and they condemn. We man the gap, they go tell you, they vote for me now because you now all come on at the same area. What do you care about? About you come on at the same area? Or now they talk the same language. Now lie.
Yeah, Doc, you get 60 more seconds, sir. 1 more minute, sir.
Okay. So finally, what me want for tell una no more. We're very happy when I give you this kind of forum for talk about the consortium. Even the talk with the talk, we hope say it will bring hope to some people. And then we feel say una part of the consortium now. Let's face it, you guys, you are thinking the same way for Sierra Leone, where we serve the thing. So I don't think you are outside the consortium. But let us work, each person using your own talent and your own forum, your own platform so that the people can go get the message. So this country, we don't hate anybody. We are not running after SLPP. We don't want to chase them out of town. We don't want to do anything, but we want our people to benefit from democracy, to benefit from what within this country gets for them. And anybody who is standing in the way of the people, they will expose them, period. I want to thank you very much for inviting me. And anytime you want to call me again, you know, I'll be very, very willing to come around. Thank you.
Definitely, Dr. Bright. I will be calling on you again very soon, sir, because there's so much more for that we talk about that we need for cover. So yes, I will be in touch. It's late now, but by tomorrow, I will feed you some details. Many, many thanks, sir, for appearing on the program.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
Who's going next? Mfaji, Kamon?
Yeah. Okay, let me go, Prince. Prince, I want to thank you for giving the Consortium this opportunity. So, what you make for say at this stage, since you don't get the leadership of the Consortium for being here and a senior person like Dr. Denise Carmo, they were all leaders of political parties, I will want strongly recommend, say, for make you get a date, specific date, once a month, because this Consortium gets a lot and lots of engagement per week. So if you can arrange with the leadership where you will get one day like Friday, so where, because what you do is very important, what you do so. Like where Dr. Denise and the previous speakers, they talk about, this now a whole movement where Salon people for own. Let them not just limit and say to the 13 political parties, because anything where they happen now going forward in the future, it affect everybody. So we need for own this thing. That's the other thing where I want. Let Salon people see and say this, that they own them, that they own, and let them do them. And you see, Daniel bring one important issue about SLPP, then they scared about the referendum, but if elections come. You see, then they bring, we come back, Prince, to the issue, when at the third issue, where they bring we come about this decentralization, this local government, to the party politics or party participation. What did they mean for add to what Daniel just talked, Mr. Toure just talked about is this. When you get the midterm election, when you get this local government elections in 2022, SLPP government, why then they scared and afraid, then they go serve as a referendum on their stewardship to the people of Sierra Leone. So then they look and now say, if we can hold local government under political parties, and APC right now they get the majority, then come for win. The other political parties then come for win, then they get the majority. The momentum to go to the general elections no go stop again. So now that make the one use this thing for let them stop, let political parties they not go actually participate because now referendum, that na test, now the litmus test that one do for them. So Daniel make a very good point about that. So what you need to try for say, do ya, Prince? Now for give the forum, now for give this consortium, because we need for educate with people them, we need for inform them. This is a big campaign, not to campaign, but politics will now campaign for good governance, for with democracy, and for the betterment, the well-being of our country, and with people them, most importantly. So they need for know, because right now, like that consortium, what I tell you, so Prince, we go upline, you go be surprised, say, chairman of city councils and whatnot, mayors, even councillors, they don't know, most of them what they talk about. So we see and say a massive education we get for educate with people. Who not hate SLPP or not hate say the name governance or whatnot. Now policies and issues now we concern. What
you have 40 more seconds, Mr. Umpaji.
That we do.
40 more seconds, sir.
Okay, so please, that would look forward to. For let every civilian come on board, let them embrace this thing, let them come with suggestions, let them participate, let them think well about the country. Let them forget about party business right now. And that's when they talk about coalition. No, will not get into coalition with. We just think and say we all for come together and get the Salon people for joining, for let we all fight this fight, for let we make sure say the government here we, for let them make sure say the policies where they bring come is good for the country, and for let we improve people in life. Roads, they know they lights, no they hospitals, schools, them so many things that they will need to pay attention to. But if we just take her individually or take her on a party line, it not go good for the country. So they are let all man come on board, and Prince, they are find a date where you go a day, now the month where you go recommend to the consortium so that we will get that day the way the one whole world go. Because the more they engage the people on this day, it become part of your program. Say this day at the consortium, they can, as it happen 2-3 times, so people are going to tune in and go one give their own suggestion, and you can even open the lines at some point. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Kaba. Well said, sir. These are things that we are very open to, because we know that the conversation space, the space for the expression of dissent is going to be stifled, is going to be stiffened, if not cut off altogether. So it is a good thing to begin to prepare for that transition, because definitely that's what we're going to see. Mr. Kaba, Kamo Kaba, yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a problem?
No, you're live. Yeah, unmute your video, your audio, you mute. Mr. Kamo Kaba, you're mute.
Unmute.
Okay, yeah, you're good to go. You've got
120
seconds, sir.
Okay, that is a lot of time for me. And thank you very much. And I must express that as the main opposition, we very humble. We very, very humble to have 12 more political parties to work with, and meaning that they are not working with us to work with. That is very, very great. And in the discussion, Dr. Dennis Bright, a man I have so much respect for, he don't express copiously that in Sierra Leone today, there is the have and the have not. So it means that there is no middle class. A terrible situation for a country. And really, I have to be honest, it is not just about the SLPP government. It's about the government of Sierra Leone since independence. And now you have a consortium of people. It is not about political parties anymore. It's about individuals. Individuals will get the spine. They are bold enough to come together and to say enough is enough. And you all saw it on the national TV, AYV, and many other media, when just to deliver a letter to the State House, we were confronted with police, military, and paramilitary. And our leader, Femi Claudius Cole, Madam, a leader of a political party, was ruffled. He sustained injuries and many more. So it tells us that we deal with an autocratic government, a government we don't ground the media, we don't ground the CSOs, we don't ground the religious leaders, we don't ground political parties. So we, as the main opposition, we know now that we need some kind of collaboration with other political parties summing up to more than 60% representation of the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the electorate, for let we come together for defend democracy. It is not about removing, I like that word, it is not about removing the SFPP. It's about defending democracy. At the end of the day, we are not in this business for make political parties lose their identities as political parties in the Republic of Sierra Leone. We are in this for make every political party stand strong as a potential leader.
You got 30 seconds, sir.
In the Republic of Sierra Leone, to consolidate our people, their effort, their everything, so we can stand up strong to defend democracy. And if it means that this consortium will lead to anything that will make that happen, we are in for it. And let me tell you, we are not frightened. We will not be intimidated. We will not be scared by the stratagems of the party right now in power and all of their unconstitutional acts, their abuse of power, their human rights abuses.
All right.
We will stand up strong. And to conclude, sir, please, this country is ours. It's for the APC. It's for the PMDC. It's for the C4C. It's for the NGC. And we want, as Dr. Bright appealed to all of you, to join us, give us the platform. Your job is to provide the level playing field for us to debate the issue.
Okay.
We don't ask you to take sides like the Sierra Leone media is doing now. We want you to provide the fair playing field. When you provide that, like you're doing now, we will show these people that Sierra Leone people cannot be taken for granted. We will take our government back. We will take the state house we gave them for 5 years.
I think we've got a message, create a fair playing field. Don't take the Sierra Leonean people for granted. Marcus Bangura, can we have a final wrap up, please?
I just want to start with Section 5 of the Constitution, right, under the fundamental principles of state policy, right? It says sovereignty belongs to the people, right? Meaning that sovereignty in the first place as supreme political authority, it is vested in the people. And a true sovereignty, that is from the people, that government, they get in power, they get in authority, they get in legitimacy. So political sovereignty is that will of the people to change a government, where a government fail for perform in responsibilities, which a government fail for actually come with the basic social amenities for the interest of the people. So power belongs to the people. So every government for be conscious, every government for be aware of that. If a government fail to realize that, then the government, they on the verge of actually eliminating itself from the seat of political power to a quarantine state. That's the one. The other aspect is no matter which we get by this country, the problem of this country are the fact that we know they go by the principles or characteristics of good governance. We don't even need a commission, a peace commission, if only we go by good governance practices. We don't even need that. But because of the fact that we turn blind eyes and deaf ears to them today, you find out, say, we always get the issue for make we transform with society. So, for example, if we follow strictly the principles of good governance, say, for example, participation, wherein everybody is involved, in decision making. You find out, say, people are they get eyebrows against others because now oneness, we all don't put hands on deck, we all don't put ideas together. You look at the other principle of the rule of law, the legal framework. If we go by the law, we don't find out, say, now they point up the fingers at the judiciary. You understand? People are not to trust the judiciary. If only we go by the principle of the rule of law, as it is, right? The due process of the law, you know, people are going to get peace. People are not get animosity, acrimony, no go there. We look at the issue of transparency. Government get responsibility for being transparent. When government will do something, now the responsibility for inform the people about anything they don't undertake, which they do. If the government fail for do so, suspicion and distrust will also arise. We look at responsiveness. Government is responsible. Understand? They should be responsible to the people. You know, government therefore get what they call consensus oriented. You know, government for be able to forget equity and inclusiveness. This issue of inclusiveness, you know, that is a serious issue because there is more of exclusivity rather than inclusivity. And when that happens, peace, harmony, not within our society. We look at accountability. You know, very, very important. If we not adapt them as we adopt them, I mean, we put them into practice, no matter the problem. Like somebody mentioned, say, the problem is APC and SLPP. Even if we get a third force, they are still Sierra Leoneans. The people that we occupy them party today, they are not coming from heaven. They are in Sierra Leone, most of them belonging to our political party or the other. So the possibility for just that, what's important are mindsets. You know, we get for change with mindsets, we get focus, we respect good governance practices, we put them into effect. I think with that, I feel this going to go push ahead. Lastly, which I want to say, now we get the civil registration with the government. And civil registration is creating a lot of problems. In the sense that, for example, we don't live around for streets, right? Now you find out, say, before this particular place, they can get about 3 areas there. For example, St. Edwards, the municipal school dome, then also Christchurch. But now only one side, when are St. Edwards. So you get the crowd, people in the camp, people are able for do registration. And I feel say there is an objective they have to achieve. So at the end of the day, for example, I think that tomorrow they say future will close. And you get a lot of people that will not register. Then what's the purpose of it? So we could take that into consideration for extension, you know, and all that. And I want to appreciate the hosts. You know, this program is very educative. And this program, you know, I feel say a lot of people that will appreciate it in the country. And even the consortium. The consortium forget one mind. Me do political history. And for the history, political history of this country, you find out, say, we've got people coming together. Not only them coming together, but the end of it. So they forget say one mind, you know, put themselves together and make sure, say, they pursue the goal. Therefore, aim beyond the sky. So that if they fall on the mountain, I think, say, or they fall on the sky, it will be very progressive. Because therefore, they pull each other's string. You know, the possibility, now you get the APC, you get the SLPP. Over the years, they don't let footprints in the side of history. You have the negative side, you have the positive side. What's important is the fact that they have been able to glue themselves together. You know, so even if you come to a political party, you therefore look at the possibility of you gluing yourself together, able to attract people and become a magnet of attention. You know, with that, I would say success good day. So the appeal to all Sierra Leoneans that I can always say with similarity, first supersede with differences. And with differences can be better reconciled. If we get peace, okay, we get love, we get respect for one another. So in this regard, we need to put that into practice. Then Sierra Leone will reach the crescendo of achievement. Thank you.
Wow, Marcus Bangura, well said, sir. Very well said. Iafande, we just compelled for come back to you, you know, for giving one last, I don't want to call a eulogy because it will sound too somber, but 30 seconds, please, if you will. 60 seconds, 1 minute. Brother Fande, are you there? Okay, I think we don't lost Brother Fande. But Fambulem, I want to say thank you very, very much to the panelists here today. I want to say thank you very much to the panelists here today. It's been a very, very critical run. And when they talk about democracy, good governance, and how people can benefit from such a process, but now the consortium, we just don't form for take on another machine of government as to potentially bringing about a change as desired by the people of Sierra Leone. So this is where we are. I want to say thank you very much. Dr. Dennis Bright, as I say once more again, there are many things there which we not cover. And these are issues of corruption, whether or not the First Lady in office or that of the former chief minister. These things are not going to go away just because the deck of cards are shuffled or shifted. We can just rearrange with program on how we want for talk. But definitely, Dr.
Anytime we're ready for the Andy, me are ready.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. Yeah. I will talk to you after this program.
We know everything. Nobody not get for make me free inside my own country. Me, I'm not afraid. Nobody.
No, I know, Dr. Bright. That's fine, sir. We're not challenging anybody. We're just saying, we're just speaking truth to power. That's the best we can say. And Brother Marcus Bangura, well said. I appreciate you so much. And we try for distinguish your role between political parties and CSO. You are a CSO, but you equally get responsibility and you're willing to live up to that responsibility, and you don't articulate them on a program here tonight. Brother Umfaji Kaba, of course, no stranger to this platform. We've been championing the cause. I guess I apologize to you because we're not even able, as a matter of time, for bring up issues of the jailed, illegitimately jailed leader of the Alliance Democratic Party. And these are the things that we will talk about. It's illegitimate, a bailable offense. The man is still languishing in jail. Where is the so-called independent judiciary? But these are issues that we'll talk about again, because this is not the end. This is just the beginning. And we'll get a program that will come up soon, based on the interview where the president held on CNN quite recently. Again, because of time, we're not even able to talk about so many things, and I can go on and on and on and on. But Iafande, I want to appreciate you so much. Your brilliance exhibited on this platform tonight is unbelievable. Madam Femi Claudius Cole, the woman with a champion, the mandem. Imagine, these are the changes that we are talking about. Strong mandem. Strong mandem. Umfaji Kaba, Dr. Dennis Bright, Kamo Kaba, all of them people there, then get a woman on top of them, we sort of the champion the cause. And above all, my co-host, Mr. Daniel Bompaturi, a man of many sort of intelligence, I don't know how to put them. We in question them, they are never direct, but it just they develop some kind of theory in a practical sense, and then he abandon, and everybody knows it, everybody concerned, so there has to be answers. And this man, they come with a program on the platform very soon. And I can't say more than I've already said, but it's coming soon. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. This is the then and now. On tomorrow, I believe so we don't go past 12 o'clock now. Yes, absolutely. So on today, 6 major stakeholders of the All People's Congress will be on the platform. That's tonight, at 8 o'clock tonight. We will send the relevant information out. Dr. Samora Kamara Wilson will be on the platform. I know they are twisting him around. Dr. Samora Kamara will be on the platform. Ambassador Almami Petito Koroma will be on the platform. Former Defense Minister, retired Major Alfred Palo Bangura, Amin Conte, will be on the platform. We got so many Contes and Banguras, will not forgive me. And there will also be a sister we go there on the platform. They are on a level tuning. But for now, it has been the then and now platform, and it's been a brilliant run. And I want to give the honors again back to Mr. Bompaturi for saying the last word. And I will say no more after you've said. Just last word, 1 minute.
But yeah, me, before Bompaturi come, I just want big Sidia. If you get any suggestions, any ideas, because I don't hear it to Fande, I don't hear Bompaturi, I don't hear you You guys have a lot of ideas. If we get anything, then we feel say the consortium will benefit from, please do not hesitate either for meet we and for call we directly or for send message. You know, una know Infaji, me, or the leader. Please, we are looking forward to that kind of osmosis so that we can be able to do something very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. We certainly will be in touch. It's a concerted effort. The issue is not private, it's not personal, it's not self-aggrandizing, it's just a national call. That's what it is. And certainly, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Toure.
Yeah, in 1 or 2 minutes for close down. Me want to appreciate this consortium first, you know, and I want for like how Dr. Dennis Bright just talked, we able for let them get lots of avenues for get the message across to the people of Sierra Leone. And I want thing, you know, so that, and I want for encourage them also within the consortium. Let them see beyond winning an election. Let them see beyond winning an election. Let them be focused, like Marcus said. Let it be the mindset. Let them within the consortium, let them the ginger themselves, let them the charge themselves that then forget the right mindset for move this country population. Sierra Leone in other countries in Africa, when they move on well, then they progress, then they move on, then they take position, and they take issues then. You know, so Sierra Leone not in isolation. We're not so isolated state. For they look to other countries then, which other countries then they do. So one for encourage the coalition, this the consortium, for see beyond winning an election. The mindset then for the ginger themselves that this consortium don't make so, because then start on a very good platform. Then get credible people. And people then, if you get where you want to do something, if you then say, if you know who side you go, people then they follow you. You just know who side you go. But if you don't know who side you go, if you say people in the see say the side way they go, you're not too clear. You don't get a clear understanding. People then they follow you. So I'm for encouraging for see beyond winning an election. See, get a mindset that this country, this group, this consortium will be a nucleus way for just ginger something and spice something into the Sierra Leone governance system, and then let's say anything can happen. You know, anything can happen.
Okay, Fambulem. So there we have it. We've come to the end of another brilliant program. But less than 24 hours from now, there will be another brilliant program on the platform. And don't forget, Mr. Mohammed Kamara Supermed will be in control this time. I want to say thank you to my co-panelists and all the other panelists in the program for a brilliant program. For the Then and Now media platform Empire, I want to say good night to all as we left una as how we've been begin with Jerusalem. Okay, Jerusalem. Thank you so much. Good night.